Hardy, Joe and Beetle, Felger and Mass, the Bruins, the Celtics, the Pats, the Revolution. This is Boston's home for sports. WBC-FM at HD Boston, 98.5 The Sports Hub, a Beastly 80 proof station. Sports Hub headlines.
The NFL's 2026 schedule will officially be announced tonight, but the expected schedule leaks in the last 24 hours have given us at least 3 confirmed Patriots games. Yesterday, we found out they'll play Detroit and Munich, Germany in Week 10. Last night, we found out they'll spend opening night in Seattle in a Super Bowl rematch on that Thursday evening. There's also a game against Chicago on a Thursday night, October 22nd, and a rumored game at MetLife Stadium against the Jets in Week 16. The rest of Thanksgiving has also been filled in. Chicago visits Detroit in the first game. Then it will reportedly be Kansas City at Buffalo in the evening. On Thanksgiving evening, the Rams will play Green Bay. Red Sox got a pinch hit 2-run home run from Ceddanne Rafaela, a solo shot from Trevor Story. They beat Philadelphia last night 3-1 at Fenway Park. Sonny Gray allowed 1 run and 2 hits over 6 innings for the win.
I felt better from pitch number 1 today than I did in Detroit. Yeah, the start in Detroit, it had been a while, so I felt better from the first pitch tonight than I did in my last start, yes.
Ranger Suarez will face his former team in the final game of this series tonight. At the NBA playoffs, Cleveland won in Detroit in overtime, 117-113. Cavaliers lead 3-2. Colorado came back from down 3-0 to beat Minnesota 4-3 in overtime. They win that series in 5 games and are headed to the Western Conference Finals. And Brian Acosta scored twice. Nashville SC handed the New England Revolution their first home loss of the season last night, 3-0. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Boston Prolotherapy. Don't let joint pain keep you off the court, course, or trail. Eliminate that pain with Dr. Franke of Boston Prolotherapy. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
You actually coaching the game?
Oh, it's just that is. I feel so strongly about that. I can't even tell you.
Boston Talk Sports here.
What do we got?
Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
Yes, I finally shaved my nuts.
and Hardy
Who, me?
Just hanging around.
on 98.5.
Tinkerman, heard about you.
Yeah. We're Costco guys. Of course we go shopping while eating a chicken bake.
That's gross.
Not a great cook, but I do cook.
When I asked him about the sides,
Kick them in the balls.
I don't care about it, but it's not good behavior. Blaze Bailey is omitted.
Toucher and Hardy
they're the best friends that can be, my buddy and me.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Fred, hello.
Hello, Guy from Machine. How are you?
Fred, hello.
I know, Guy from Machine. It's nice to talk to you.
Fred, goodbye.
Okay,
Goodbye,
bye.
Fred.
Goodbye.
Fred, goodbye.
Goodbye. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. 617-779-0985 if I haven't already said that. A wonderful day today here on the show. So much to talk about. Very exciting stuff. And yesterday, Dan Roach was in. Hardy's back. He was picking up his daughter from UMass Amherst.
That's right. It was fine when I left. Started raining on the way out there. Realized that everything was going to be uncovered in the back of the truck. And hopefully she was packed up accordingly. I had plenty of packing materials to keep things covered and stuff. So what I did, Fred, after informing her the night before what time I would be there, I called her anyway. I said, okay, 20 minutes away. And she said, well, Life 360 says you're an hour away. I said, well, why are you tracking me? We have this plan.
Trust a guy on the phone.
Yeah. Believe me when I tell you, I am 20 minutes away. Okay. Well, let me know when you're here. I said, okay. I just did. 20 minutes. But
Be
fine.
ready.
All right.
Yeah.
So I pull up and I had asked Beaton, what it's like, moving out. And he told me it's going to be a bit of a show. And I said, okay, I can figure it out. And pull up to her door. There's only like a dozen spots to park in front of her dorm. And you just have to wait, your turn.
Mm-hmm.
So I wait a few minutes and I get a spot and they say, okay, you got 20 minutes. And they fill out a little piece of paper with time on it and say, here it is. You got 20 minutes starting from now. I said, okay. So I text her. All right, I'm here. Send me a picture of where you are. I'm like, look out your window. I can see your window. Here I am. There's 12 parking spaces.
Yeah.
Just look out the window. You'll see me. I send her a picture anyway. I walk up. Someone's walking out of the lobby. I grab the door. I walk into the lobby, but I can't go upstairs. Good. All right, fine. All right, I'm in the lobby. She says, text back to me in a minute or two. All right, I'm just leaving Hamp. I said, huh? I said, what, the hamper? Are you in the laundry room? What? No, that's the dining hall that is relatively close to the dorm that she lives in. Like, what are you doing in the dining hall? So by the time she made it back over there, 10 minutes had elapsed of our 20-minute loadout time. All right, let's go. All right, I have to get a cart. And I haven't seen her in a while.
Did you explain to her the urgency of the situation?
We have 20 minutes. Get up to her room. She was, for the most part, packed. And I will give her this. The only thing I wasn't thrilled with was all of her hoodies, which she's got, 15 hoodies, because that's all they wear. Mm-hmm. And I say all of them. Every single kid on that campus, all they wear is a hoodie. For that packing, she had placed a large garbage bag over all of them and kind of like tucked it into the hangers. They were still hanging in the closet. She hangs her hoodies. Like, all right. So I pack up one cart full of stuff, take it down, come back up. She's standing there talking with her friends. I'm like, we gotta go. We gotta go. Pack up another load, get it down there. Now, like 30 minutes has elapsed, and I've got everything packed up. I said, okay. She goes, all right, I just have to turn in my, card and all this stuff. And I'm sitting in the truck for like 10 more minutes. And I text her again. It was like, it's like waiting at the airport, waiting for the state trooper to walk by. You're there to pick somebody up at passenger arrivals, and you're just hoping they don't come over to you. And I said, we gotta go. So we took 47 minutes of the allotted 20 to move out because, well, she had to finish that waffle, She had to go get the waffle, apparently, when I told her I would be there in 20 minutes.
She didn't leave to go eat until after the phone call.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
She went to go have breakfast after I called her and told her I was 20 minutes away. That's when she left.
Oh, my God.
To go eat.
Did you have a discussion about how time works?
No.
Okay.
No, because just two of us in the car driving back, and I don't want it to be bad.
That's true, because you had another hour and a half to go, so you didn't want that to be uncomfortable.
Hour and a half,
understand.
Please.
2 hours, whatever it was.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
That's my point.
But it was fine. It was good. Good to have her home for now, Got all this stuff unloaded and all that stuff, and it won't, I'll give her until 11 o'clock this morning before I start bugging her about, all right, so you got that job lined up? You're all set? I didn't bug her about it last night.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give her until I get home today and she's still in bed before we start talking about her plans for the summer, which on the way home, all it entailed was meeting up with her friends that she was tearfully giving goodbyes to, that she's going to see Wednesday of next week. Like, what are we doing? What's with the
what are we doing?
What's with the sentiment?
What's the plan?
But honestly, what's with the emotion of saying goodbye to these people that you're literally going to see in 7 days?
It will never be the same. The living conditions.
It's true. She said she would miss that smell, and it's a horrific smell. It's not a good
everyone
smell.
on the same cycle.
Yeah.
That's the smell of purity.
Oh, God.
It's the smell of every woman in the same thing.
Yeah.
That smell, Hardy. Oh, that smell. It's the smell of the empathy that comes from holding life. That smell you hate so much is the smell of life. Well, you weren't here yesterday, and Dan Roach was. And Dan Roach called me about 3:45, and he said, like, where are you standing? Because he was at my son's baseball game in Groton. And I said, oh, I'm not standing anywhere there, Danny. I've been in the car. It took me an hour and 40 minutes to get to Groton yesterday. And it's interesting because Hardy saw the accident
I did.
coming back from Amherst that caused 95 essentially to be shut down going north.
It happened feet away from us in the northbound lane as we were going south, and saw that woman hit that concrete barrier, and she appeared to be okay. But we talked about it, and Katie said, "Oh, these poor people behind her." I said, "It's not these immediate people behind her. They'll go around. She's only blocking one lane right now. Wait till all the responders show up and take up a couple more lanes." I said, "It's the people getting on the highway in the next 5-10 minutes that are going to have their days ruined."
Yeah. And that's what happened to me.
Yeah, you were one of those people.
Yeah, I just kept getting moved down Route 9, and then I got put on 95 just at a later, like one later exit, but it was diverting everyone the same way. Yeah. So I was stuck in on those surface streets, and then I got on 95, just an exit north, and then I sat on there forever. And then they have me get off like wherever Lowell, whatever goes to Lowell is.
The connector. Oh yeah.
And then it had me take that, and then that was all jammed up, and then it had me. Oh, just the whole thing was terrible. And so I got to the game. I got to the game just in time because I got to the game. Because they're like using pitchers differently because they're in this like consolation bracket, so they're using the pitchers differently.
They're using openers.
Well, yeah, if you call it 4 innings, but he doesn't want to overpitch kids, so he pitched one kid 4 innings, and then Milo came in the last 3 innings, and then Milo's going to start on Saturday. Milo didn't throw a ton of pitches, but he's going to start on Saturday, but I sat there with Dan, and Dan is the belle of the ball. Dan just stands there and takes things in. He was standing kind of behind the backstop. He was just taking it in. He was, and then people would come up and they would pay their respects to Danny Boy.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. And
does he still pull the octogenarians, or is it just guys?
There was one woman there that was basically like a grandmother.
Yeah.
And she, I don't think she knew who Dan was. Maybe she did, but whatever. She's been at all the games, and it was the first time she's ever approached anyone that I saw, and it was Dan. Now, she played it cool. I don't know if she said, "Hey, you're Dan Roach," but she seemed to want to talk to him. And then I would try to interject myself in the conversation, and she was not overly interested in me. I got that vibe right away. Like, Dan's got that silver fox thing happening. But Dan's a little bit different. I've told you this before. Dan's a little bit different off the air. A little more biting. Like, he's a little more like a normal guy off the air. He's not as, "Hey, guys." He's not like that in real life. It's pretty interesting. I told you, I saw him one time when his daughter was in high school. He was at the ALS game, like the game at Fenway that the Pete Frates Foundation, in honor of the Pete Frates Foundation, that BC plays at Fenway one game. And Mile was the bat boy for BC in that game, this is years ago. And his daughter was playing for her high school team, and it was on, like, they were like showing it, and he had an iPad. And he couldn't get it, and he was swearing the day away. He was super pissed off that he couldn't get it. He was very angry. So I've heard Dan kayfabe. I've heard him.
Have you ever had it directed at you?
I don't recall, and I think I would, but I know he was like swearing and pissed that he couldn't get it, and he'll deny it, but it's true.
Well, my greatest run-in with Dan was when we were at the media day for the U.S. Open, and we're playing the country club open routing, and knowing full well what I was doing, I said, "Hey, Dan, I know we started like on 15, but on holes 1 through 9, you're like 3 over par. Like, you're having a great round." Hardy, shut up. I said, "No, look, Dan," and I'm showing him the card. I'm like, par, bogey, another par, bogey. Hardy, shut the F up. I'm saying, no. I mean, it doesn't really count if we're not playing for anything. And just enough to where I got him mad, and he ended up shooting like
80.
80? How about 93?
Oh.
It went like 55-39 on the 2 nines. And he was so unhappy with me that months later, when my wife met him for the first time, she texts me. She goes, "Oh, Dan Roach is at this event I'm at." I said, "Go up and say hi. Tell him, that you're married to me, whatever." And so she goes, "Hi, Dan. My name is Marcy. Yeah, I'm married to Hardy." And he turned around from whoever he was talking to. He goes, "He effed me. He effed me on the golf course. He effed me." "Hi, how you doing, Dan Roach? Nice to meet you."
So the thing is, you got in his head?
Yes.
So he shot it on the U.S. Open course, like designed for the U.S. Open. He shot in the 90s?
Yeah. I mean, we're playing from way forward.
Oh, okay.
And it was...
Oh, no, you don't play from the tips
Yeah,
back there.
it
They
was-
keep those tee boxes pristine.
And it was probably 5 weeks before the Open, so
Yeah.
the rough, you could still hit out of the rough.
Right.
I think I shot maybe 88 that day or something. I was pleased because
Should be.
It was tough.
So Dan's good at golf?
For those 9 holes, he was great, and I made sure to tell him.
It just ruined his day.
How is that possible? How is it possible that he's good at golf?
Why is that so hard to believe?
Well, I don't think he plays a lot, and he's not doesn't appear to be a great athlete. I mean, it would be one or the other, right?
Fairways and greens. He was keeping it in play.
Yeah, but how? Like, he doesn't play, I don't think. He doesn't belong to a club. I don't think he plays very often.
Made some putts.
Yeah, that's just so weird. That it just shows you golf is no measure of anything.
Oh.
He showed me this thing yesterday.
What a thing to say on the opening round of the PGA Championship, Fred.
Oh, that's
right. Save that commentary for an off-major week.
When does it start?
Like
Soon.
7 something.
And now, how are you going to watch it this morning?
I just have it on. It's all right. I'll be fine.
What's it on? Does it have weird rules like the Masters where you can't watch it on TV?
No, it's on ESPN, I believe.
They just cook it on right at 7?
6:45. Alex Fitzpatrick, Ben Griffin, and Braden Shattuck will be teeing off.
You know, when Ben Griffin takes his shirt off and pants off, it's okay for TV because you can't see his junk.
That's right. You can't see him. Just a little ass crack.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Dan Roach is a man of his word. He came out and he hung out, and you can't ask a man more than that. He somehow, the ride from Andover didn't take an hour and 40 minutes, which is what it takes for me. There's a time where you start losing your mind a little bit. 35 miles, an hour and 40 minutes.
God.
You know, and I wasn't driving through neighborhoods. Like, it wasn't
Right.
25 mile an hour speed limits.
And it's far enough away to where there's not many other ways to get there.
It took me in a way I'd never been. It's taken me a bunch of ways all the times that I've been out there. It's taken me all over the place. But my son does that twice a day. Goes there and comes back.
Oof.
I don't know how he deals with it. It's just insane. But
Does he know some secret back way at this point?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's got the whole thing.
He's got it all dialed in and wired in.
Yeah, his car's in perfect shape. He's never bumping it around or like not being able to open the door because he did something to it. Yeah, it's great.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, he's a real local yokel. He's got everything going for him.
He's a bit of a grease monkey. He's always out there wrenching on it.
Yeah.
And he's not driving it.
We call him Magellan because he's always coming up with new ways to get places. No, John, he doesn't. No, I'd imagine he talks to his girlfriend and loosely looks at a map while he bumps into things.
Follows the blue line regardless of what logic or common sense would tell you to do.
No, I think he gets on the phone with his girlfriend and just starts ramming into stuff is what what apparently happens. But then he feels so bad that I'm like, all right, like, use this as a lesson that, it could be a lot worse. You can't be distracted. Because you go, oh my God. And we go, okay. Because then I feel it's my responsibility to calm him down a little bit. And I'm like, look, things like this happen. It's cool. We'll deal with it. Just, you don't want to get hurt or hurt someone else. Like, you drive so much. Just statistically, the amount of time you're in a car.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to get in an accident. Like, and you gotta keep your wits about you. You gotta concentrate, especially if you're driving on freeways all the time, these crazy ass roads.
It's the stop and go traffic on the freeways.
Yes. And then but like, I mean, what am I gonna? He's had his license for like a little over a year. I mean, like probably every 5 months he like bumps that thing into something, and it's just. But he's a new driver and he drives 17 hours a day. I mean, just right, like the math, like something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment with what happened last night.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy.
and over. It's just never good. It wasn't funny the first time.
Toucher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hello. We are Toucher and Hardy. What happened last night's brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Hardy, what's going on, for Christ's sakes?
I'm going to tell you. Don't you worry about that.
Oh, get to it already. Enough of the suspense.
Red Sox and the Phillies in the midst of a 3-game set. Sox dropping the first game on Tuesday 2-1. Yesterday, they would go at it again, and oh boy, fireworks.
There's a high drive, left center field, back toward the wall, rising up, and gone.
Kiss it goodbye. Make it a 4-bagger. Wave to the crowd. Have your peanuts and popcorn.
Up and gone.
Cracker Jacks.
Story number 3.
Number 3. That is what we call the combination of diarrhea and pee-pee.
That's only 2.
No. But it's
one and two.
Number 2.
John, can you catch him up?
I'll do my best, yeah.
When I'm riffing, I mean, come on.
I got you.
Scoreboard.
When I'm saying gems like that.
Yeah, you're right.
Don't ask too many questions.
Yeah. That's my fault for not picking up on that. So there you go.
It really is. It was so clever of me.
Trevor Story with the second inning home run would put the Sox on top 1-0. Cedar Rafaela adding to the lead.
High drive, left field. That's up there, and it's gone.
Oh no! Someone smoked DMT and went on a trip. Hi.
Off the bench, Cedar, and the Red Sox take the lead. A 2-run shot for Rafaela.
There you go.
Take him off the bench like pulling a pickup truck to the Home Depot. Come on in.
3-1 at that point. But what happened with Connor Wong yesterday?
Up by Sosa. A stumble there by Wong. Coming on Whitlock. He'll make the play. And that's going to be out number 3. Wong tangled up with Sosa. Connor Wong is still down.
Okay.
And slow to get on those knees as the inning came to an end.
Oh, come on, honey. It's my birthday. Can you get on your knees, please? Dunkity-doo, Homeroo.
That's one of your better ones.
The audience is saying, why'd you start doing that again?
The great thing about watching a bad baseball team is that weird stuff tends to happen.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened.
Well, it was a foul pop-up. The catcher, Connor Wong, turns around, throws his mask off to locate it, and starts backing up towards the infield. The problem is the batter is still in the batter's box. Wong, somehow not knowing where he is, backed up and tripped over the batter, who wasn't going out of his way to trip him up.
Right.
Wong just had no spatial awareness and hurt his ankle. And so the pitcher, Garrett Whitlock, had seen this happen, had to come running in, dive, and catch the foul pop for the out. Wong could not continue, had to come out of the game. That was only the second weirdest thing that happened to the Red Sox that night. The first weirdest thing was that Wilyer Abreu swung and missed at a pitch and still got hit on his back shoulder.
Oh, wow.
I've never seen that. Usually it's front shoulder, you're not sure.
Yeah.
This pitch came in, and you would think he could pick up a breaking ball. Apparently, he thought it was a fastball, and then the ball took a left turn, so he swung. He's a left-handed hitter, and it hit him on the left bicep. But because it was
that
a
must
swing,
have been nasty.
But because it was a swing, he had to stay in the game and stay in the at-bat, and then he singled the left on his next pitch. Just bizarre stuff. I mean, if you look at it, you won't believe it. There are videos out there to see it. It's just that strange. But the weirdest thing...
I was in traffic.
Yeah, then there was another weird thing that happened in the ninth. Very, very strange thing that happened in the ninth during the Phillies' last at-bat. I don't know, are we going there or not?
What, with Chapman?
Yes, Aroldis Chapman walked 2 guys. So you have runners on first and second and 2 outs.
Do you want it, John?
Go ahead.
You can have it if you want.
All right, go ahead.
All right. I think this is what you're asking for here.
And a big lefty gets the strikeout. Ran it up there at 99.
I take it that's not it.
No, but it's right before.
Because that's just him throwing a strike, John. That's not all that interesting.
That's right before that. Kyle Schwarber.
I don't know why you would want that.
It was 99's pretty fast. Go ahead.
Kyle Schwarber's on second base. First and second, 2 outs, and Schwarber steals third. It was a double steal. Schwarber, a straight steal, stole third base on Wong's replacement, Carlos Narvaez.
Oh, wow.
A lot of strange stuff happening in this game.
He might be the slow. Was it catcher indifference? Or did he throw down?
No. He threw down. Caleb Durbin, who was the third baseman, was so shocked that it happened.
He wasn't even covering, John.
He wasn't even covering third base.
Well, Durbin's not in there for his glove. Durbin's in there for his bat.
So Durbin caught the ball while running in towards third base. That's how surprised everyone was.
Well, Schwarber, no joke, might be this. I mean, there's at least a chance he's the slowest player, a positional player in Major League.
Correct. But Don Mattingly called a double steal with 2 outs, and Schwarber stole third.
Listen, they're trying to get the season on track.
Amazing. So that's the great thing about watching this baseball team. You never are really quite sure what you're going to see next.
But I will tell you this, John. If you have Gray, Whitlock, and Chapman pitching a game, chances are you're winning. So
they all pitched really, really well.
So you do.
Gray especially was really good.
Yes, he's a professional pitcher. Everyone didn't want him. Sip of water.
That's true.
The skipper agrees with you, Fred.
Yeah, it's 92 usually, but he can sink it in, he can cut it away, he's got the sweepers, he's got weapons, and he can put them where he wants. So when you kind of just watch him navigate, a lot like Ranger, that they know when to go in to keep a guy off balance, they know when to soften it up away, they know when to elevate. It's fun to watch.
Yes, he doesn't throw 99, so he's incapable of pitching. It's ridiculous. But anyway, it does look. Gray's not going to be an all-star. Gray's not going to challenge for a Cy Young. But Gray, well, Jesus, on this team, Gray might be an all-star. If you need to take one guy, maybe he will. But you know what I'm saying. But I don't know. Not people at this station and not just fans. I just don't understand why any writer would have been like, "Oh, what are you doing? Train for Sonny Gray?" Like. He's gonna be a professional pitcher for you. That's all. He's gonna be one of the top 3 in your rotation, and he's gonna be a professional pitcher. He could do worse. So there you go. There's Sonny Gray that no one apparently wanted, but he was an opening day starter last year. He doesn't rely on stuff, so he's most likely going to be fairly consistent. And there you go.
One other thing about the offense, the starting pitcher for Philadelphia, Andrew Painter, had an ERA of close to 7 coming into the game, had given up 8 runs in under 4 innings in his last start. Red Sox managed 1 run off him in 5 innings.
Yeah, they can't hit.
They can't hit at all.
No, that's not a professional lineup. And by the way, did you hear the thing with Felger? Felger did everyone a really big favor just across the state, anyone who's in sports media, because he said he got a text that the Red Sox were interested in Mike Trout and that it was Duran and Bayo that they would be exchanging for Mike Trout.
Right.
And now people are starting to convince themselves that they want that to happen. And Carabas was on with Maz, I believe, and was saying that while he doesn't think it will be Trout or it should be Trout. And look, I know for baseball reasons it's probably not Trout that you want. But my point, Hardy, was, the older I get, maybe just it's okay if you have Mike Trout here and it's something to look at for a while. This team is like, can you make this season like a little enjoyable? He's certainly not making you worse, I would think. And, but Carabas said that, but not Mike Trout, but they will look to make a big move to reinvigorate the fan base here, and keep your eye on Fernando Tatis.
Okay,
but then what do you give up for Tatis? And
maybe they're going to try and sell him on the same package.
I don't know what the Padres situation is. They're good.
Yeah, and the way it broke down with Bayo and Duran is that I guess they've got a guy kind of like Bayo right now that they could move and he could.
Well, they're redundant
in that spot. Yeah, so he could. It would make sense Anaheim to do the Trout deal.
But, who knows if Trout wants to come here? I doubt he would.
But that's the thing. I heard Milliken talking about this as his days are numbered around here.
He's out the door.
That would he even waive his no trade? Apparently, there have been other opportunities for him to leave, and he's got a really strict no trade, and he doesn't want to. I mean, for Trout, he got the bag. He got to that team.
Yeah, he got that bag.
Hadn't done anything. Seems to be perfectly happy where he is, making money, not winning very much. Good. I'll just stay here. Why do I have to go someplace where I'm going to be scrutinized?
Yeah, I'm looking. San Diego's in first place.
Yeah, they're really good.
And Tatis, by the way, I looked up his contract. 14 years, $340 million. He's still got 8 years left on it.
And he's not, great. And he plays right field for them most of the time.
Yeah, you're not moving Abreu from where he is. So I don't know.
Well, I guess he would play left, or he could play second base for you.
Tatis would have to play left, yes.
Or he could play second base for you. He's done that, too. But first of all, do the Padres need pitching? I don't know enough about the Padres. I've seen them play 3 times this year. I saw the Cardinals be up 2-0 in the 9th with 2 outs and 2 strikes on Castellanos, and Castellanos hit a 2-run home run to tie that game, which was eventually won in the 10th by the Padres.
Oh.
Even though it's regular season, that's the kind of game you don't like.
Yeah.
If you're a Cardinals fan, you don't like that.
There's also some belief out there, and I think it was attributed to the Red Sox front office, but this sounds entirely made up, that the Red Sox are enamored with the idea of Trout because he could help fill the leadership void left by Bregman. Mike Trout?
See, I had that same point yesterday. I've never heard him being that great leader in the clubhouse. I mean, the collection of talent here is not going to be significantly raised up and spurred on to greatness just because you have Mike Trout. That means nothing to me.
Yeah, but the idea that Trout's somehow not a leader, I don't think is fair either. The best anyone could say is they don't know around here, because Trout, just the very idea that he's been loyal to Anaheim speaks, I think, of at least character. At any point, I don't know, when he was one of the best players in baseball history, that he could have gone and demanded a bunch of stuff, but he stayed there. And now, because we're Boston, we just attribute that to laziness and not caring, which is pretty funny, because if he wanted out of there, we'd all say he's a diva. So there's nothing.
Yeah,
so he can't win either way. We don't know if he's a leader. He's just sitting there in Anaheim. But if he wanted out of Anaheim, we would all go, "Oh, he's a diva."
Yeah, that's right.
Right, exactly.
That's a problem.
So there's literally nothing.
Absolutely right.
There's nothing you could do except for read. I highly doubt the Athletic has an Angels beat writer, because they don't have a Cardinals beat writer anymore. So good luck finding a Padres beat writer, because the only thing I can find that a beat writer for the Cardinals, I'm not paying for this Post-Dispatch, is some loser fan crap. So if you can find one, ask a Padres beat writer, because apparently that's the only guy that could tell you. All I know is I'm going to err on the side of Trout's a pretty good guy and a pretty good presence in the clubhouse, considering he was one of the best players in baseball history, according to WAR and statistically and all this.
First
he got
10
hurt
years
a lot.
Of his career,
Yeah, and that's a long time. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's 34. He gets hurt a lot. He's not nearly as good as he used to be. He wants to play center field. He's probably not a very good center fielder anymore. All these things. But the notion that somehow he's not a leader, he might not be. But the signals more point to he probably is than he's not. So he's certainly not a clubhouse cancer.
That's true.
There's other guys on that team. Was it Rendon? Who's the guy they gave all the money
Rendon.
to?
Anthony Rendon.
Yeah, Rendon just got his contract and was horrible and dicked around over there. And he said
he hated baseball.
Yeah, he was terrible.
Yeah.
Trout's not that guy. Trout existed in that clubhouse. So, I mean, whatever. I just think it's funny that we err on the side of that he's not a clubhouse guy because he just stuck around. So there's nothing he could have done.
My point is, and I understand it's a little off topic, but my point is he's not a bad guy, but he's not a leader. That's all.
But Bregman isn't like pounding his chest and stuff. Bregman's whole thing was that he was. You wouldn't have known Bregman was a leader unless people told you he was. Bregman wasn't Kevin Millar, dancing around and like getting everyone fired up. I don't know. Whatever. He might not be. I'm just saying that it's very Boston of us to just assume he's not because he stayed in Anaheim, which the other option would be to leave, which also wouldn't be good. So there's really nothing he can do.
There's a fine line between loyalty and complacency.
That's right. He's complacent the way he was the best player in baseball for 10 years. All right. Yeah. Very good. Perhaps it's the organization's fault and not his. He did all he could.
You had 2 first ballot Hall of Famers on the team, and you played 1 playoff series?
I know. It's ridiculous.
It is pretty amazing that they've accomplished that.
And they spent a ton of money at one point, and it was just all on the wrong guys.
Everyone but pitching, actually. That was part of the problem.
Well, and Rendon, which screwed them for a long time. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here's the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
Patriots schedule will be officially announced tonight.
Hardy, there's something very special going on if you'd like to talk about it.
I would indeed. The Who's Your Caddy Classic is returning, and foursomes for the 15th Who's Your Caddy Golf Classic will go on sale Wednesday, May 20th at 10 a.m. 985thesportshub.com/golf to register your team. The tournament will take place once again at Brookmeadow Country Club in Canton on Monday, June 8th. We're doing an 8:30 a.m. shotgun. Zoe and Beetle will be broadcasting live, and your foursome package will include your 18 holes, the cart, the gift bag, the post-round lunch. We're going to have some really nice live auction prizes this year, some silent auction prizes as well, and all the proceeds will benefit Special Olympics Massachusetts.
Oh, a new one.
Yes. So this is something we're trying for the first time this year. John, I don't even know if you know about this.
Okay.
Brand new this year, we need a fourth.
Oh.
Me, you, Fred.
Okay.
We'll play together. We need a fourth.
I'm in.
No.
No.
Yeah, you bid. Yeah.
You bid.
Oh.
You'll be outbid. You'll be outbid.
I'll be outbid after the first bid. Yeah.
Well, no, there's a minimum, I would imagine.
Okay.
I won't hit that. Okay, well, carry on.
Same for Felger, Maz, and Big Jim. They need a fourth.
Okay.
So you'll be able to go online, and instead of registering your foursome, you'll be able to bid on if you want to join us and play golf with us that day, or if you want to join Felger, Maz, and Big Jim, you can bid and be the fourth, either for the morning show or for the afternoon. And again, all the proceeds benefiting Special Olympics Massachusetts. I believe one of their athletes is going to be with us that day, and I've done this before where you challenge them on a par 3. And, I mean, there's some amazing athletes with Special Olympics, and so that's going to be cool. By the way, thank you to our friends at Catches Law, the Boston Bruins Foundation, the Patriots, Celtics, Red Sox, FootJoy, Yale Appliance, Pinned Golf, and Golfers Warehouse. So everybody coming on board for the 15th Who's Your Caddy goes on sale a week from yesterday, Wednesday, May 20th at 10 a.m., 985thesportshub.com/golf.
All right. Sounds good. We get to miss work that day, which is always fun. Robert, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to add to the Mike Trout leadership conversation by saying what I think you were talking about, the gist that Fred was trying to articulate was that there are leaders that lead by their skill set and their strategies, and those are like, what's his name, Braveheart. They were in the horse and the whole. That's how they lead. But there are other people who lead by just the gravitas of their background and their bona fides. And I think when you talk about Trout as a leader, I think people are talking about that. I think about Garrett Crochet, who was probably a leader in much the same way. I don't know if he's a rah-rah kind of leader or a strategy leader, but he brings leadership simply by his background. And that's I think that's what they talk about when they talk about leadership with regards to Mike Trout.
Yeah, it's just interesting to me that as Bostonians, which I suppose I now am after 20 years, fine, my children are.
That's fair.
They don't know anything else but here.
Yeah.
We err on the side of he's not. And then I gave you the two examples. For all we know, I would say 99.99% of the people weighing in on this is that we just sat around Anaheim all that time. Well, it's like, okay, well, the other option was to, when he was one of the best baseball players of all time, to demand a trade or to one out, and that would have made him a diva. So for us who don't follow the Angels and, read all the beat writers and everything, or the beat writer, I would imagine, I mean, there's no way he could be a leader because there was no option for that. Like, he stays, he's not. He leaves, he's not. So he's just not. You could say, I don't know, but I would think staying, if you were guessing, would make him a humble, good guy, which at least with young players who obviously grew up idolizing him, it would not be bad. Let's just put it that way. Now, can he play anymore? I mean, he's okay. But
what about William Wallace from Braveheart and the horses. How does that factor into your calculus?
I just think anyone who works with horses has got some leadership, especially anyone who puts them out to stud and figures that whole thing out. You know, anyone who's selling their seed.
You ever seen that sleeve that they use?
Yeah. Oh, I
that thing's all right.
Believe me, I've done deep dives.
Let's all love this horse.
That's right, Crash.
Yeah.
One more game to get to last night as the home team has taken each game of the series between the Cavaliers and Pistons. As a matter of fact, the Cavaliers have not won on the road in this postseason leading into last night, and it looked like it was going that way again.
Bruce by himself gets a screen from Azar. Launches a three, and it's through.
So cool.
Cold-blooded triple.
Cade Cunningham and the Pistons with a 9-point lead with about 3 minutes to go. Cleveland would go on a 9-0 run to finish the game in regulation and then in overtime.
Strus into Mitchell. Buzzer sounds. Cavaliers win. Cavs win Game 5 here in Detroit. And the Cavaliers are heading back to Cleveland with a 3-2 lead in this series.
Whoops.
You are absolutely right, Fred. I watched some of this game. It's Cade Cunningham and a bunch of other guys.
Mm-hmm.
Cade Cunningham was incredibly good last night and got zero help.
Yeah, well, I got news for you. If you're the Pistons and you see Donovan Mitchell's really struggled last night and Cade went off and you still lost, whoops-a-daisies. Perhaps you're not winning this series.
Yeah, and perhaps kind of like San Antonio last year, not quite ready. You know, and whether it's players or whether it's just, say what you will about guys like James Harden, but they've been there, and they're when it comes down to crunch time, you need to go on a 9-0 run to finish regulation to force overtime. Teams that have been there and have some veterans on and some experience are better equipped to do that.
What they need is a secondary scorer.
Yeah,
and they've known that all year. They didn't really do anything at the deadline. I think Hardy, they figured they weren't going to win a championship this year, and maybe they didn't want to give up all their assets at the trade deadline. Maybe they wanted to wait till the offseason. But there's no they know what they need. They need another guy to score. They don't need another defender. They don't need another big guy. They need another guy to score. It doesn't matter how they do it either. They need a shooter. They need a shooter. It doesn't matter. They need another guy that can put the ball in the basket. That's it. A second to Cade Cunningham. They need another star. It's not Duran. It's not Duran. It's not Robinson. It's not Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris has been fine, but it's just they need another star scorer, and they're going to have to go out and get him.
Okay, Cade Cunningham played 48 minutes last night.
Yeah.
48 minutes, and the game went to overtime, so he sat for a little bit. But
he sat for a little bit, and they
48
played a
minutes,
kid.
39 points, 13 of 27 from the field, which is really good by NBA standards these days. I think he was 6 of 10 from 3. There's nothing more he could have done.
No, and
they lost.
They played a kid named Marcus Sasser last night for 16 minutes, and they played him early in the game, and I haven't really seen that kid play this year. So they're trying everything.
Yeah.
And, it worked until it didn't. And, you asked me after the last loss, and I said 51% Pistons.
Yeah.
Now I'm saying 70% Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Because if Cade Cunningham plays like that and Mitchell doesn't play well and they still lose, then I don't know what they can do.
I felt bad for him. Cleveland was making a run, and Cunningham was doing all he could to stop it by scoring at the other end. I felt really bad for him.
Yeah,
because there really wasn't anything else he could have done to win that game. Tobias Harris was what, 6 of 17?
By the way, Cleveland turned the ball over 16 times in that game too.
Yeah.
Like they didn't play well.
No. Yeah, and Detroit in the fourth quarter, you think, oh, were they coughing the ball up? No, they have one statistic turnover in the fourth quarter last night. They just couldn't score outside of Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, they just have no one else that can score. And the thing is, they knew it. They knew they didn't, and so they have to. They have the money, and they have the picks, and they have everything. They've saved it all up. They have plenty of cap space. They can go out and get someone.
Well, here's a name for you. Why not go get Giannis?
They can.
If Detroit needs that extra guy, he would be perfect. They have the picks. I don't know how you would make it work money-wise, but
They can.
that would be the guy.
They can.
Yeah.
They can. They're not in a terrible situation cap-wise. They're not paying anyone except for Cunningham.
Right.
So we'll be back in just a moment. We are Toucher and Hardy. You're hearing a song that was never been able to be released because the sample could not get cleared, even though it's by the guy who made the album, Bob James, who did Nautilus, which is the most sampled album, I think, maybe of all time. It's Nautilus, right?
It's up there, yeah.
That's the name of it, though,
Yes.
right? Bob James.
What are you thinking of?
Like, Beats to the Rhyme uses it like a bunch of songs, so we've been playing that forever. People say, "Who is that?" They always go. Always get at least one email that is Souls of Mischief, but it's unreleased, but it's available on YouTube. With the Mike Frabel, Diana Rossini thing, I guess to the annoyance of some, have just said, just get a divorce. It's better that way. But some marriages should stay together. Some marriages you got to fight through.
Yeah.
Because when you get down to it and you see why those kids are getting divorced, you're like, this just seems silly. Like, why can't you get over these things? Well, do you remember Carl Pavano?
Oh, yeah, of
course.
You know Carl Pavano.
Of
He's
course.
a big-time baseball pitcher there. He is in the middle of a divorce, and there is a prenuptial agreement between the two, and the woman is fighting the prenuptial agreement. Now, Massachusetts is a no-fault state, so I don't know how many of these things would factor into anything, but I don't know about New York. But would you like to hear what Carl Pavano did, allegedly?
I would.
What his ex-wife is alleging that he did?
Sure.
And tell me if these kids shouldn't try to work it out? Well, he was abusive. No. It says more sordid details have come to light in the post-divorce prenuptial agreement drama for former Yankees pitcher Carl Pavano and his ex-wife, including that he allegedly urinated in her shampoo bottles and intentionally soiled her bed in which she slept. Okay, so he's a romantic. Big deal. So he's trying to spice things up.
It's called courtship.
Yeah. Like maybe he's trying to introduce these things into the relationship to I don't know, Hardy. I mean, if you asked your wife to put on a long T-shirt, a flannel, and a beat-up baseball cap, I mean, would that be out of the realm of spicing things up? I mean, if you asked your wife if you could dress as a electric worker, working on the lines, like Eversource, I mean, would she not consent to that if it could, keep the marriage alive? I mean, this guy's just trying new stuff. And what is it with divorces and people taking craps on the bed? That did a lot of good for Johnny Depp's ex-wife,
Amber Heard, right?
Well, who knows? I'll never hear the name again. She went all in on Johnny Depp, and Depp's showing up drunk with eyeliner on, and they're like, "Do you drink in the mornings?" And he's like, "Only on Tuesdays." And then the jury laughs. Like it just didn't go well for her. But Johnny Depp said that she went poopy on his bed, which is impossible because she's a woman. And they don't do that. Right. Alyssa Pavano, she's keeping the name, good for her, has requested a Connecticut court, where we will be for the Travelers Championship, of appeals void a prenup the couple signed in Florida, which she alleges she was forced to sign under the threat that he would leave her. Which, isn't that the idea of signing any prenup? If you don't do this, I will leave you. First reported by CT Insider.
Yeah. That's paper of record.
Mm-hmm.
She claims that the former hurler, about 20 minutes after being served divorce papers in 2024, he sent a message in a group chat with Alyssa and their children that showed multiple firearms laid out on the kitchen table and captioned "Hold the fort." So, again, why aren't these kids working through this? He's peeing in bottles. He seems like a pretty together guy, according to these allegations.
I'm reading over the court document right now, Fred.
Yeah.
Some of the other things that the defendant is accused of doing in this case. Defendant, which would be Carl Pavano, planted drugs in the plaintiff's belongings in a harebrained scheme to have the children taken away from the plaintiff.
Does it really say harebrained?
Harebrained.
Yeah, because it's a Honeymooners episode.
It's just like, is this Bugs Bunny? What is this?
No, it's a Flintstones. Remember when Barney put some crystal meth in Betty's
Sure.
rock case?
Right.
So this is the draft appellant's brief. The defendant secretly installed a camera in the master bedroom in violation of a stipulation entered as a court order. The defendant stole the plaintiff's jewelry, one of the only two assets of the plaintiff noted at the prenuptial hearing, and hid it in his closet. The defendant repeatedly called plaintiff a loser and white trash.
Oh.
And the defendant told the children that the plaintiff would not be able to give them the same living conditions that he could, so that they need not live with her.
I think the guns is maybe your best case here. Because here is where the New York Post gets serious with this. Alyssa, who has over 20,000 followers on Instagram and is as an Instagram influencer, and I, as someone who has 20,000 followers on Instagram, know the power that wields. Yes. I mean, if you have this is serious business. She's an influencer. I'm an influencer. Don't cross me. If one of my 26,000 plus followers, they're like an army for me. They can do anything. I like how she's an influencer. Nice job. 20,000. Well, you're right. Big deal. I get you. I'll tell you what 26,000 Instagram followers get you. $5 a month. A nice $5 deposit that you got to pay taxes on. I literally make, I have more followers than her. I literally make, oh God, $50 a year, $60 a year.
It's not bad.
Now, brands reach out to see if I'll do things with them, and I'm like, no.
Whoa.
They're not very professionally written, Artie. And they do want contracts signed.
You don't have to give the brand name, but what are the products that you're asked to collaborate with?
I get no further than how poorly the email is written and that they want me to sign a contract.
Yeah, well.
And then I feel a little guilty sending my agent paperwork for a $300 brand endorsement. Like I'm a little odd. And I also feel kind of like a dick going like, hey, gang, there's new soap for guys. Like on my Instagram account.
Yeah.
I'm making $300 here. Could you please indulge me? The stuff we do on the air is big business. These are real companies. I don't need some rinky-dink like beard trimmer coming at me, offered me $300. Alyssa was 20,000 followers, an Instagram influencer. Right then I'd throw the case out. That's your job? Well, anyway, she reportedly, the soiling part's not as cool as it sounds. And do you think he really did this? Because this seems like a pretty long con. So it says he urinated in shampoo bottles, but I mean, what do you want him to go in the drain? Inside her private bathroom and intentionally soiled the bed in which the plaintiff sleeps. So you think he went poo, right?
No.
No, but he didn't. It said intentionally soiled the bed in which the plaintiff sleeps during their parenting time by having female sex partners occupy the bed. But then she says he removed all clean linens in the house, so the plaintiff is unable to have hygienically clean and safe bed during her parenting time. So it sounds like they're sharing a house, and that she's claiming that he was having sex with women in the bed. This is what I assume, right?
Yeah.
Like they're splitting the house during this divorce time. And that he was banging other ladies in the bed. But then you really believe that Carl Bavano went out and hid all the sheets? The clean sheets, so she had to sit in the bed that he had sex in? I don't think that's true. I don't mean to cast aspersions on this woman. Again, the gun thing, if true, big red flag.
Yeah.
But so you go, he showed guns in apparent attempt to threaten me and my family with death. And then he went pee in a bottle. Like, stop at the guns. The guns is enough. You send me a text with guns in it, I'm a little upset. That is upsetting. Then you bang some girl in the bed. And then you hide the linens? That seems almost fraternity-esque.
Yeah, and as long as he left like one set of sheets on the bed, you just do a load of wash.
How long does that take?
Yeah, clean your own
Less
sheets.
than an hour, you're good.
Yeah.
He planted a hidden camera inside her bedroom.
Yeah.
Which is bad. That's bad. But then it goes in the same sense and called her both a loser and white trash. So if you call if you're going through a divorce or you're in a marriage, a happy marriage, and you call your wife or your wife, let's do this. You're in a happy marriage.
Okay.
And your wife goes to you and you're in an argument and she goes, whatever, loser. You're like, that's it. I'm out. And by the way, I'm not paying alimony. You just called me a loser. Like, come on. I can only imagine the judge's reaction that sees 7 million divorces a year when he sees an allegation that someone called her a loser.
The peeing in the shampoo bottle, oddly impressive to me. And you think, oh, that's, hey, just peeing a shampoo. The openings are not that big.
Yeah.
You got to have tremendous aim, and you're going to have to hold it. You don't want to pee on your own hands.
Well, you're in the shower.
Well, who's to say he was perfect?
Yeah,
I'm sure there was some splash over. He cleaned it up.
Can I also ask how she would know he peed in a shampoo bottle?
Oh, I can tell.
Yeah, but you're an expert. Yeah, dude, but we went to class. We studied under Melvin Hiberning, the king of water sports. We're talking about an average Joe. How would you know, honestly, unless you saw him do it or had a camera in the bathroom, huh? How would you know that he peed in the shampoo bottle?
Maybe the shampoo smells like urine.
I was just going to say the smell probably gave it away.
Oh, come on. So if someone pees in a shampoo bottle that has even had shampoo in it, you're going to be able to smell pee? This isn't a cat.
I think it is.
We need you to pee in a shampoo bottle tonight and then bring it in tomorrow.
I'm rolling, though. What, you want me to stop this bit? Adam wants me to get out at 20. We're asking Nick to see if he can tell if there's pee in a shampoo bottle.
Get
Nick,
2 bottles of shampoo and only pee in one of them.
Pee in both.
We'll blindfold Fred.
Yeah. Nicholas! Go out and get 2 shampoo bottles and do whatever you want in them and pour them on me.
Get it?
It's not so much for science.
But tomorrow will be Friday. That's the carrot that's dangling at the end of my week.
I got a case of the Mondays. Go pee in a couple of shampoo bottles.
Sacco pee.
Throw it at me when I'm least suspecting.
No. Hovered over my head like an angel. An angel on my shoulder. I do question how you would know someone peed in a bottle, and your idea that it smell is ridiculous. Daddy's got to pee.
Depends on what you've eaten.
What's that? How'd you clip that?
I don't even know where that's from, but it's in here.
I don't know, but
Good for us.
it sounds hot.
It's on the pee page.
Well, anyway.
We could make one of those if you want.
I think you could stop and start with the guns.
Yeah.
That seems to be everything else. The having sex in a bed, I don't know if that, you signed a prenuptial agreement. I don't know if me having sex in the bed negates that. The guns, now that seems more like a criminal situation than a prenuptial situation. But anyway, I don't know why those kids couldn't work it out. Just real quick, I'm sorry. Okay. Jason, go ahead.
Morning, boys. Listen, can we just cut through it and you guys just do a show in the DA voice, the Empire show once?
I've tried it.
Great. Oh, my God. It's amazing. Anyway, I just want a little editor's note here. Let's not short Johnny Depp on credit because he said that Amber Heard pooped in his bed, but he said it wasn't a dog. Someone left a grumpy, which is one of the most brilliant terms of all time.
That's right.
Thanks, boys.
Yeah.
That is somewhere in a court document.
He couldn't have won that case more. The whole thing is she's up there crying and saying all that. I don't know why public sentiment all went with Depp, but it did. He's admitting to like getting loaded in the morning. He's like drinking before court. Yeah. And she's up there crying on the stand and he's making everyone laugh. And somehow he came out the hero in that thing. It really backfired on that lady. And but I mean, the things that they were alleging, like they had kids and everything. They were like, do you often like drink at 6 o'clock in the morning? And he's like, if I'm feeling great, if I'm feeling good, and he like winks in the jury. He's like, hee. They like loved him. They loved him. It's like, that sounds kind of bad. He's drinking at 6 in the morning.
Jack Sparrow. I love him.
Exactly. Well, he kind of looks like Jack Sparrow now because he's all like, falling apart. All right. Well, Nick, don't lose that idea. You bottles pee. You figure it out. Use your creativity. We know you got some. Nick! All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
Someone left a grumpy.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy. Sports Hub.
All right, this is going to be a little tough. We have Mark Daniels on, and we want to spend some time with him. So Jaylen Brown was on whatever podcast. I already forgot the name of it. But Jaylen Brown's got a lot to say. And this is the newest thing that Jaylen Brown is pontificating on.
I'm going to show the people. I didn't care about the front office. Once you get the people talking about it, the front office is going to start making decisions. Yeah. Because they got pressure on them.
So he's saying that the people, the fans, the public, really just sports talk radio, really just morning sports talk radio, influences the decisions of the Boston Celtics front office. That's
just to put it in a context. He was going back to when he was really young and Gordon Hayward.
No,
was
he gets to this.
Oh, okay.
He's going to get to it. I'm just trying to give you an idea of when he says the people, who he's referring to.
Like, I remember the Boston Celtics. We remember the year we came back. Gordon came back. Kyrie came back. After the year that we took the team almost to the finals in 2018. Then we come back to the next year, Gordon and Kyrie are now back on that team. And so now we got this loaded team with all this talent. They decided to move me to the bench, which was understandable. You got guys, you making $30 million or whatever. But as a 20-year-old kid who is extremely talented, that slowed down my development. In that moment, like, how do I get back to where I want to get back to? Because now I'm getting criticized for not working on my game. Right. Now I'm getting criticized for not being ready for my opportunities. And reality was we just had a stacked deck, and it was too much responsibility for everyone to equally share. What I did was like, how do you win over the fans? Right? Anytime I'm on the floor, I'm the best defender on the floor. And then I'm creating highlights where I'm like, if I get a fast break, if you look at that year, I'm windmilling it.
So Danny Ainge was the GM at this time. And I got to tell you, having talked to Danny Ainge on and off air for several years, Danny was extremely influenced by the people.
Yeah.
Out of all the GMs you've ever met, I keep telling you how impressive Danny Ainge was. Danny Ainge couldn't have cared. I can tell you for a fact, more than Jaylen Brown, that Danny Ainge could have given a rat's ass what anyone thought. Anyone thought, let alone the fans. That's why he was so impressive. That's why he was so great on the air. He didn't care. He cared about the team, but the guy is one of the most confident people, not in an arrogance, but one of the more confident people I've ever had, successful people I've ever had contact with. Like, he would make a decision, stand by the decision. He'd admit if he was wrong. But I'm telling you right now, if Jaylen Brown's increased playing time was due to Jaylen Brown's his abilities and what he could do on the floor, which is a compliment to Jaylen Brown, by the way. I can assure you it's not the fan base. You would agree with that, John.
Fan pressure.
If any GM was not susceptible to fan pressure, you'd have to put Danny Ainge at the top of that list, correct?
Of course.
Yeah, he was tended to make bold moves.
Think about trading down from number one when there was an obvious Markelle Fultz was believed to be the unquestioned number one pick in the draft. It's like, you know what? Tatum's the best player in this draft. I'm dropping down. You can have the number one pick. I'll take a future one, and I'll take Tatum at 3. That was widely panned when he did that. Why would you skip out on the overall number one player in the draft? You didn't give a crap.
I crapped on him.
He's fantastic.
And he didn't care that I crapped on him. He didn't care anyone crapped on him. He didn't care. That's a fact. I can tell you is a fact. Very few things that I can tell you.
You get a fast break, I'm coming. I'm down here with it. So now they start to be like, why isn't this kid playing more? Right? And why isn't he playing more consistently? And they start asking those questions. And in Boston, what ended up happening, this is like a forgotten moment in time, but they ended up having a petition. Like the fans sent a petition, like put Jaylen back in the starting lineup. Wow. And that eventually made the Celtics put me back in the starting lineup. Not because I feel like they wanted to. I think Brad preferred Gordon. One, he was making more money. 2, he was coming back off injury. Also the Butler. So keep it at Butler.
He went to Butler, and where Brad Stevens coached.
Yes,
but I don't think the people that host the podcast understand that he went to Butler. because they're calling him the butler. So I think they're laughing. It doesn't sound like the world's greatest podcast.
I mean, I'm just, you know what I'm saying?
At least they're letting him talk, unlike me.
I mean, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? They gave Gordon every chance offensively that he absolutely could. And, like, they felt like he deserved it because he made that big commitment to come from Utah.
Okay, before I say anything, do you recall a petition?
I do not.
I signed it.
Oh, you did?
Outside of a Shaw's Star Market. Yeah.
What the hell's going on with Jaylen Brown? What's he even talking about anymore? So now the Celtics didn't want to play him, and they were forced to because of a fan petition?
I don't remember any of this. Maybe it happened in some universe. I just don't remember it in this one.
You think that would have come across our desks if there was a massive fan petition that was being sent in
that forced Brad Stevens' hand where he got it in an email. Went, well, oh my God. He called up Danny. Look out. Yeah, Danny, we got to deal with this.
Think about it in terms of like what we do. Let's say in a business where everything is dependent on how you are received by the audience.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody really wanted someone back on the air, right? And they sent a petition around and sent it in. How do you think that would be received around here? If the decision had already been made and they were doing whatever they wanted to do financially and everything else, they would look at it and say, well, that's interesting information, but we're not changing anything. Now, put that into the hands of Danny Ainge, especially Danny Ainge, but really any GM in the league, and say, well, this is nice what the fans want, but we have all these concrete reasons why we're not doing this. So the switch from Gordon Hayward to Jaylen Brown, whatever it was, you can guarantee it had nothing to do with any fan petition.
But the bigger story here is Jaylen Brown's saying a lot of stuff, and it is mysterious as to why this is all coming out. He's coming off the best season of his life. If he's ever proven that he's a number one, this is the year. This is the year where he broke out. He has no reason to talk about anything negatively. He's been fantastic. He's inarguably one of the best 10 players on the planet this year. Well, I don't understand any of this.
Go ahead.
In the aftermath of Game 7, I was thinking about this, Fred. So much of the commentary was, well, Jason Tatum didn't play Game 7, and Jaylen Brown couldn't get it done. And some of the commentary has been to that effect, which I think is the dumbest thing. Like, the reason why they lost this series was not because of the losses they suffered in any other game. When Jason Tatum was out there on the floor too, no, it was the one game that he didn't play, and Jaylen Brown couldn't get it done.
Brown scored 33 in Game 7.
We have to break. I just think that he thinks something's happening. And he's trying to get ahead of it.
He's pushing back against either the narrative or he thinks something's happening.
I think he believes that he might get moved, and then he's that's why he's talking so much. That's what I have to believe. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. We'll talk to our friend Mark Daniels. morning. All right, so I will just read this. The Seattle Seahawks were already announced as the host of the first game of the 2026 regular season as reigning Super Bowl champions. According to NFL insider Jordan Schultz, their visitor in that matchup will be the New England Patriots, the same team they beat in Super Bowl 60 in February. So they will kick off on Wednesday, to kick off the NFL season. With all that's happening with the Patriots and with Mike Vrabel and everything, how do you think the Patriots feel about starting the season a day before everyone else?
I don't think it's ideal. I don't even love, like, for the NFL's standpoint, it's like, all right, you want to start the season with the Super Bowl rematch like already? I feel like that was already going to be a game like, a ton of people are going to view. You could put it on any Sunday night or Monday night. It almost feels like a wasted marquee matchup on a Wednesday in week 1, So for me, I think it's just, in general, it's kind of lame. For the Pats standpoint, it's not ideal. I mean, we always say, like, the first 4 weeks of the NFL season is always this, like, all right, let's kind of see what we have, and then teams sort of establish themselves by, like, week 4, 5, 6, and in week 1 are those crazy games where, like, a bad Gerard Mayo-led Patriots team can go into Cincinnati and beat the Bengals, or right, didn't the Patriots lose? Did they lose week 1 last year too?
Yeah, they lost to Vegas.
Raiders.
Right. Yeah, against the Raiders, who ended up being horrible. So, like, anything can happen. It's not always good football. So for me, it's kind of a bummer all around. Like, all right, it's probably the coolest matchup on the schedule because it's a Super Bowl rematch, and we have to watch it on a Wednesday night in week 1 when both teams might not be at their best. So for me, I don't think it's ideal any way you shake it.
Yeah, it's not ideal from that, but also, like, with all the attention that Vrabel's getting,
right?
If there's a game on a Wednesday, a game on a Thursday, then you play on Sunday. There's, like, other stuff to talk about nationally. You understand? But if you're the standalone game at the beginning of the season and nothing has happened before that, that's how it works, Mark. Locally, whatever, it's going to be what it's going to be. But nationally, that story, say it dies down a little bit over the next 3 months, which depends, I guess, entirely on if Diana Rossini starts speaking. But it all picks up again, and it's, like, really the only narrative because you know how it goes. You're talking, going into a game, everyone's all fired up about the NFL starting, but nothing's happened. So you're left to find stories, and this story, in my opinion, is just going to start going hot again, which maybe it wouldn't have been the case if they would have been playing on a Sunday.
Right. We'll likely be talking about, A.J. Brown making his Patriots debut.
Yes.
And nationally, it'll be about how the Patriots, how do they handle distractions? Is Mike Vrabel the same? Are the Patriots the same? Can, Mike still reach his players? Yeah, nationally, it's going to be like that. So, yeah, from that standpoint, I don't think it's ideal at all. And, hopefully the Patriots can, play as well as they did last season and, sort of put some of that stuff behind them. But you're right. If they start slow, we all know what the national narrative is going to be. It's that, something's wrong, or he's not reaching his players, or there's distractions inside, Gillette Stadium and all that.
Yeah. And who's doing that? That game is on NBC. Okay. So
it's NBC.
Yeah. So in NBC is not, because I was just saying if that was on Prime, then you get what's his face? The Miracle on Ice. Come on,
Al Michaels.
You get Al Michaels, and Al Michaels doesn't give an effing anymore. So Al Michaels,
that's true.
I think about it this way: like if that was on Prime and Al Michaels was doing it, first of all, he gambled on it, and second of all, in the third quarter he's being like, "Oh, Vrabel's lost the team." Like you got to think Vrabel might have lost this team, and so it's probably better that it's on NBC.
Tirico and Collinsworth,
who are great, but but Tirico seems to care. He was at the Pistons game last night.
Yeah, the nicest way of saying it is that Al Michaels cares in a different way these days. It's
also he's unfiltered,
personal.
which I think is fantastic. He lets them use his voice for AI. He lets them do whatever they want.
But Mark, it's every team talks about, you got to get out to a good start. You can't afford to be 1-3 after the first 4 games. I think it's especially true for the Patriots this season, not only to try and somehow even come close to matching what they did last year, which no one thinks is, real possibility with the schedule, but also because the schedule doesn't get any easier, presumably. And, if they do have that slow start, they're going to be behind it, kind of both ways, both in terms of the schedule that they'll be playing and the fact that they have this slow start.
Yeah, there's not like obviously I don't have the schedule in front of me, but it doesn't seem like there are a lot of opponents who are like those get right games. Like sure you're going to play the Jets twice, and who knows what the Dolphins are going to be, but you are going to play internationally, and hopefully you actually have a bye week after this time. It sounds like a Thursday night game against the Bears, so you got a short week against a pretty good quarterback and a pretty good team, but like you're on the road against the Chargers, Chiefs. Was it the Jaguars too? And obviously you're starting the season with Seahawks, but even at home, it's like the Vikings, Packers, Broncos are all good teams. This is a tough schedule to start slow. But Drake May is in his third year, so one of those things too. I'm gonna say, all right, it's gonna be more difficult on Drake and the Patriots, but Drake May will have an offensive coordinator for the second year in a row for the first time since maybe the beginning of college. Like he said, I think it's 3 or 4 OCs. So like. Yeah, they need to get off to a fast start and they need to play well. And hopefully Drake being in his second year with Josh McDaniels will just sort of nullify some of the more difficulties that this season will bring with there was that tweet. You guys see the Bill Spiros tweet about the amount of air travel they're going to have this year? Like, man, it's a tough schedule based on opponents, but also all the travel you're going to have to do too. That sort of wears on players as the season goes on.
Is it a good thing? I personally wanted the Patriots to play the Lions on Thanksgiving. Is it a good thing they didn't get a Thanksgiving game, all things considered?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, from a selfish standpoint, I know Zoe, it sounded like he was going to do donuts in a parking lot if that happened. So
he didn't want that?
Probably grateful that's not going to happen. But Thanksgiving games are always sort of strange too, right? It's like you want to spend time with family and
Zoe. Whoa! Slow. You've just brought something up, Mark, that interests me.
I didn't hear it, Mark, but after having spent a lot of time with Scott Zolak, he has famously called Thanksgiving the sneaky good family holiday.
Okay.
Because not a lot of people think Thanksgiving family time. Scott says, "Oh no, don't sleep on Thanksgiving as being good family time."
Yeah,
it's like the fries at Castle Island.
Right. So
you like them or you don't.
If you were to take him away from the Thanksgiving family time, he would have been very upset.
See, to me, that would be like, I wouldn't want to go to Seattle for week 1. That's a long trip. But if you said I had an hour and a half flight to Detroit, I'm doing the only game that's on at that point. It's, that atmosphere. And then I go home on the plane, and I'm home probably by
10 days. I mean,
then I'm home.
You're home for Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
You're home. You play that Detroit game.
Yeah, if you want to delay Thanksgiving dinner until 8 o'clock, I'm home for Thanksgiving dinner. That seems like almost an ideal thing. I miss all the bad stuff at Thanksgiving, and then I just come in at the end, make an appearance, and then I'm out.
Yeah, that's not so.
And instead of being in Detroit. On Thanksgiving, we're now facing Detroit and we're in Munich for probably 4 days because those trips are historically Thursday through Monday. So,
well, see, I think that if you're a fan, Munich, if you can swing it, is kind of cool because it's not Paris or London or Barcelona or something that people go to. Like, you could probably live your life without going to Munich, Germany. Mm-hmm. But if you have that excuse of that you're kind of putting it around that game, that at least 1 day's taken care of. I think that's kind of cool. I think that would be something that I'd be excited about having.
Why don't you go?
I can't go in the middle of in October to go to Munich. You think I can take a week off in October?
Who said you had to take a week off? You do the show live from there.
Yeah, but I'm still going to Munich. It would still be time off. You want me to do it from the airplane?
Munich is so great? Why don't you live there?
Well, listen, if the government keeps it up, I just might Rosie O'Donnell this sumbitch.
Mark Daniels, your thoughts?
Yeah, Mark Daniels. Should I leave the country? Is that what you want too?
Should Fred Toucher move to Munich?
I think you should find a good beer garden and host it from there.
I'm an alcoholic.
Not find a beer garden and find an actual garden and host it from out there in Munich, and I think it would be a good time.
I'm just kidding. All right, so the beginning of the I'm just playing with you, Mark. The beginning of the
he is an alcoholic.
No, I'm not.
I'm cured.
No, I've taken enough time off. I've proven I'm not. So Mark, I know this is kind of dumb, but you've mentioned the travel and you've mentioned, the strength of schedule, and it's just couldn't be more different than last year. Yeah. We all know that last year. What is reasonable come Thanksgiving, like for you? Like what would it take for you to be concerned by Thanksgiving, given the schedule?
Yeah, if they're under 500 or sort of hovering around 500, I still think they're good enough to finish with. I mean, there's no reason they shouldn't finish with 10 to 12 wins because Mike Vrabel's a really good head coach and Drake May is an all-pro quarterback. They're presumably going to add AJ Brown with already Romeo Doubs, and you return a lot of people on defense. So like you still have the core of your roster, and after winning 14 games with a poor schedule, if you can't go 10 to 12, I'd say 10 is the bottom, right? Like around 12 wins. So for me, if you're around Thanksgiving and you're under 500, then something has definitely gone wrong.
Yeah,
and that's where the whole narrative will come up with like, all right, have things changed with the head coach and our guys distracted? What's going on? Did their good players get too old? All that. Did Drake May regress in year 3? So for me, it's definitely under 500 or around 500.
I think you're right, Mike. Mark.
He loves Mike so much.
Yeah, I would love to give them a little more wiggle room than that, but Thanksgiving is going to be week 12, and if they're 5-6 at that point, I'm like, that's just it's not going to get it done. It's not going to be enough. They need to be a couple games over 500.
So you need them at 500. So you're saying, Mark, 500 or above at Thanksgiving?
Yeah. I'd want above 500. Like if they were sort of even at that. You'd probably lose a little bit too many games for my liking and fans' likings. But, and also see what the schedule is, because after that point, sure, if it's the Dolphins and the Jets and, with like the Raiders, yeah, maybe you can bounce back. But if if you finish out the season with like the Chiefs, the Chargers, or, was it the Steelers, Vikings, some good teams at home or on the road, it's going to be hard to sort of get right in December.
Did I hear they're playing at the Jets the last week of the season?
The online rumor has it. It's week 16, right? Week 16.
What that would mean, though, is no Christmas or Christmas Eve game, which I'm a fan of since I have kids. So, on December 27th is the rumor at the Jets.
Okay. All right. Well, Mark Daniels, good stuff as always. Read him on Mass Live. The schedule is released tonight. And I encourage everyone to watch it because it's necessary, because you couldn't just read it after. Mark Daniels, thank you. We appreciate it so much.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right, there you go. Mark. The great Mark Daniels. We'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy.
I just got a pair of Run the Jewels Nikes SBs coming in the mail.
You were doing your dance there. You haven't done your dance in a while. I like that.
Do you?
Yeah, we actually have your dance song. We could... Remember? Yeah. That's right.
I already knows this one. This is the new dance show.
That's how you get people all pumped up in the morning. High energy. Freddie T with the moves.
So new dance show was on public access. You guys had one, I'm sure, in Boston too, like a channel where like they tried to do like almost an American Bandstand, but it was hip hop stuff, and they would form a line, and they do a thing on it in the Detroiters. They satirize it, and all the women would come through, and they would turn side to side, and then they would shake, like so they would take their fists and put them at breast level, and then shake violently to jiggle everything.
Yeah.
And that's what got people excited. And then I'm sure you had a show like this in Boston.
There was one in Albuquerque.
I'm trying to remember. 12.
Dance, Dance, Dance. It's a teen thing. Do you remember that, Hardy? Like
No.
It was on Friday nights. It was on public access.
Well, there was like they do it on the Detroiters, and there's the brother and sister, the one who's married to Tim Robinson on the show and his best friend on the show are on the new dance show. So they do this, but the ads during the no dance show were like, hey, welcome to Leroy's House of Hats. It's hats, hats, hats at the corner of 7 Mile and DeQuinder. Hats. And then it was just like hats and Stacey Adams shoes.
Yeah.
Maury shoes. If it Maury, it ain't Gator. They would do all that. All right, Mike, go ahead.
Hey, guys. I was thinking, should Mike and the Mad Dog sue the NFL for the schedule release show because they created it and they should do it? It's the greatest, I think, thing in the history of sports talk radio. Mike and the Mad Dog going through every single NFL game and then
taking their
Mike
time.
Commenting on who's going to win or not.
Just
it's
taking their time.
4 hours in the history of sports.
Yes.
And also, I'll be this Friday and Saturday off Cabot in Beverly, Massachusetts.
You're doing Beverly. Are you headlining in Beverly?
Big things.
Okay.
Yeah, North Shore, kid.
All right. Good luck, my friend. We're rooting.
Come
for
on,
you.
guy.
Thank you. Yeah, Mike and the Mad Dog would take their time with things.
They had nothing but
Mad Dog's very
5 hours a
talented.
day.
Mad Dog did like an hour on his producer getting him a hotel room and the room not having a TV, and the producer was not happy with that. And
No,
he's
I'm
saying,
happy that you got me in the hotel. I appreciate it, but you get in there and you want to watch a little boob tube.
he said that you're and the producer's like, well, I don't know, you wanted a 5-star hotel. He was doing a Rollins event last night. He was doing something for Rollins, something that Rollins does not ask me to do, but he's much more popular than I am. But they and that they wasn't a TV, and then the kid's like, you wanted a 5-star hotel, Mike. I mean, you wanted it on short notice in a specific neighborhood. I don't know what the hell you want from me. And he's like, well, I want to watch the San Antonio game. It's like, oh, please. You wanted to watch the San Antonio game.
Well, that is in direct opposition to your Devil Wears Prada stance, where that seems like actually a reasonable request.
Well, you gave me, I don't know, a decade of crap for asking Bird to call and wake me up on his way into work in the morning. I could only imagine if I asked Adam to book me a hotel non-related to the show. And then if I just asked him to do it or then complained about the hotel that he put me in. I mean, I was mocked for something that's Drew and Mike, producer, the overnight guy, called them every morning to make sure
well,
they were
you're
up.
no Drew and you're no Mike, but I did back off my...
I would say my career is fairly similar to theirs, but okay, go ahead.
I have backed off my Bird calling you stance since having to get up at this hour. I now understand.
The empathy has arrived.
Because all the a-hole things I've done, and there's been millions.
They are legion.
Yeah, I admit it. I mean, I'm doing a show. I'm trying to be funny. But beyond that, just being a dick. I was horrible to Nick when he interned for us. I know it. And I've made many amends. And I treat Nick as best as I can now. No, Nick! Well, listen, that doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve a little yelling when it's in that spot. But
He's looking at me like I'm crazy.
But Nick will tell you when it's all over. If I feel the need, I will apologize.
Has Nick signed up for that that fart monitor yet? Did they get back to you?
He did sign up. Actually, he was in the process of registering the other day, and he was answering questions, and I said, "Stop! This is something we could do on the air." And he goes, "No, there's only like 3 questions." And then they said that they're no longer taking submissions for the study. So sadly, Nick.
They finally found a fart monitor that was small enough to fit on underwear. That had been the thing that had been holding it back all these years. Well, finally, technology is caught up to farts.
Nick could have helped them out years ago when the monitors were larger because I don't know what he wears. It's got to be some kind of do you just wear gym shorts for underwear, Nick, with that rump of yours? Do they make underwear that fits? That ample bottom of yours?
Nick, the producer, he's juicy.
Yeah, LBF said she wanted to pluck something, but it sounded different. All right, so... Remember at 6 o'clock when I talked about Dan? He came out to my son's game yesterday. Yeah. He filled in for Hardy yesterday. Mm-hmm. He's the guy that I asked for first to fill in. Mm-hmm. I've referred to Dan as a friend. We do text often. We text like multiple times a week. We'll text each other.
Actual friends.
But I'm saying this for a point, and I do like that. But yeah, like equals.
It's pretty rare
for me, and so. Dan was here, and Dan throughout the season is checked up on Milo, my son, who pitches. He's like, "How's Milo doing? How's Milo doing?" He came out to a game last year. I'll never forget it because it was in May and it snowed. So he lives in Andover. My son's game was in Groton. It took me an hour and 40 minutes to get there. Dan got to the game before I did. We talked about this at the 6 o'clock hour. Is there anything I said, and you can be completely honest, but I don't want you to be sarcastic. Was there or joke about it? I do want an honest answer. Was there anything I said about Dan that in any way was negative about him in that first segment?
No, in fact, it was kind of endearing, and I don't know where you're going with this, but if it's something that Dan has said.
No,
okay.
It's he's in this walking club. So just no. Okay, that's good. Is there something else you want to add to it?
No. Because like one time, the first time I told that story about the golf course, Dan got, I thought, actually angry with me for kind of like exposing him for having like actual human feelings.
See, that's the only thing that could be construed as negative, that Dan pops off and is a normal human being.
Yeah,
but I said that was years ago when his daughter was in high school. And we were at the ALS game.
The answer is no. You didn't say anything negative that would put Dan in a bad light.
Well, so this is what his yentas at the walking club that he's in did.
Oh boy.
Okay.
So he had texted me at 6:48, and he said, "Morning, Fred. Had a great time yesterday. Mile did an awesome job nailing down the save. Let me know how he does this next start." I said, "Thanks for coming out, Dan. I'll keep you in the loop." Then, like an hour later,
like friends.
Then an hour later, he texts. Just got back from a walk with the neighborhood fellas. Sorry if I wasn't myself at the game yesterday. Was so happy for you and Milo. Was cool to watch. He's well on his way. If I was too hyper, I apologize. So the yentas in this walking club are listening to the show, and then they're telling Dan that I was crapping on him, which I was very moved. If you want me to be like... super annoying about it. I was very moved that Dan came out to the game. It was great. The coach of Milo's team was happy that there was a big shot from TV there. Mm-hmm. People were excited to see him. My kids, Milo got a kick out of it. Zoe likes Dan. I thought it was a tremendous gesture on his part to drive all that way to go see my son play baseball. I appreciated it was there. But then he wrote, in this whole time since the break and until now, he spent crafting the next text.
Okay.
Because I said to him, Jesus, Dan, you were great. I just said that you were different. Like, he doesn't talk about Disney and stuff. I thought you were great with Zoe and Margraff's mom, the coach's mom.
Yeah.
Zoe thought you were funny and nice, and he said, all good. And I said, why? Did they say I was making fun of you? Because I absolutely was not. I really appreciate you coming out yesterday. And he said they were laughing at you being shocked that I could golf because I was unathletic, which I agree with. That's not what was going on, Dan. They said I was making fun of you, and I don't appreciate that because I make fun of them all the time. But when I'm not making fun of them, I don't need this Yenta walking club going around spreading nonsense.
I maintain that if you have friends coming to you to tell you what is being said about you and something you would not ordinarily hear, those aren't real friends.
No, they are not real friends. That's not how real
I'm
friends are.
not saying that. I'm just saying
I am.
And I'm agreeing because you took the words right out of my mouth.
You should have heard what they were saying about you yesterday. I don't know, and I'm happier not knowing.
Well,
Why are
we
you
didn't
trying
say-
to make me unhappy?
We didn't say anything about you.
Right.
That's nonsense too. We did make fun. We really tore into you because you weren't here. It's a bunch of stuff I wouldn't say to your face. I'm a real coward. When you're here, I get
Oh no, I was saying that as an example.
Okay, yeah. I was like, what the hell is going on?
No.
Yeah, but I don't like that because I don't like that. Really, I don't like it because I do appreciate Dan coming out so much, and I don't think it's fair. I don't think I came on the air. I mean, I said he's different, but that's not a negative thing. He's just like more of a regular guy.
This whole thing is very middle school. The whole thing, you know. I
appreciate the walking club listening.
I don't know many middle schoolers who are in walking clubs. So
No,
that
but
part
I
of it's
mean
not very
the
middle
whole
school.
thing about you
Well,
should have
certainly
heard
not the athletic kids.
Yeah, you should have heard what he said.
I
about
question that being a sport. You're
Yeah.
not keeping kids up. That's not teaching them much. Like, I know you don't want to play any of these traditional sports, which I understand, and you don't want to be in newspaper or debate or anything.
If your
Why
local,
don't you just take a lap?
If your local middle school is a walking club, move.
Wait, now I'm thinking it was Hardy. It was you who told the story about the golf outing with Dan in the opening segment, correct? So if there was any sort of complaint, if there was any sort of misconstruing of comments, is what I'm saying, it wouldn't be directed at Fred. It would be directed at Hardy.
It would still be directed at Fred because I said Dan was playing really well, and then Fred went off on for 40 minutes. How could Dan be a good golfer?
No, but
he's such a waste.
But
That's
the
what
point
he's
I'm
upset
making
about.
Is,
Right.
is during your story you talked about, was it Marcy going up to him and him saying,
Yeah.
no, F Hardy, and dropping F bombs and stuff like that. That would be what, if I'm a walking club member trying to stir stuff up, what I would point out.
Okay, but can we now? Everyone can at least understand how listeners, when they're passively listening, construe anything I'm involved with, which is Hardy can tell a funny story that's kind of ragging on someone, and then it immediately becomes Fred was being a dick.
Yeah.
It's been that way my whole career. To some people's great joy. Not the Hardys. Hardy's a real man. He can take it. He can take the lumps himself. All right. Dan, I did not badmouth you. You see how this
You
is
guys are
upsetting
still
to me.
friends. You guys are still friends. Don't worry.
Well, I very few. I keep ostracizing people. They are being ostracized. I don't like it. All right, look. All right, let's just play the.
We're
one.
on the subject of baseball.
We're talking about Dan Roach, who's basically just talking about baseball. All right, Adam, this was just sent to us. We did not solicit for it.
No, this was sent to Hardy, actually. Hardy, you received this a few weeks ago when the Red Sox were really, really playing poorly, and people were calling for the team to be sold. And apparently this listener was motivated to put people's feelings to song. And that's what we'd like to share here.
All right. And this is not a radio professional writing a song.
No, we don't need to get into that, I don't think.
No. Because I've been on you guys to please write a song.
As long as we know it's coming, that's all that matters.
Now that you mention it.
As long as we know it's going to happen, that's what we care about.
Grab my acoustic.
Could you? Oh.
Oh, come on.
You didn't get it right away.
All right.
Getting PTSD.
Okay.
Nicholas, I'm sorry he mentioned
It's okay.
that.
We got 6 minutes left in this segment. I got time.
You got time for half of it. All right. Anyway, this was a listener. We didn't ask for this, but it came anyway. Here you go. I haven't heard it. Well, at least they used a good song.
Oh, no.
It's funny. My dad and I were at a Red Sox game the other day, like a couple Sundays ago, 2 Sundays ago, and they played this. And he just looked at me, and I looked at him.
Yeah.
And we mind melded. We're not standing up.
Yeah.
We're not standing up. I told you at the minor league game they played like 7 national anthems. They played the national anthem, they played God Bless America, and they played something else. And by the third one, I'm like, this is enough. And I wanted to get a soda. And they were like, what are you doing? Like, legitimately, like, what are you doing? Like, they're playing whatever, Proud to be an American or whatever. And I'm like, no. You get 1. This is the third. Soda. We're not stopping operations 3 times. Like, it's enough. And this was before the whole Iran thing, too. Like, no. This is a time of peace. We're not stopping 3 times. You don't get to take 12 minutes off work because Steve Vai wannabe's playing some song on the field. Come on. 1's enough.
I'm going to get a bottle of soda, and I'll be right back with you.
Thank you, Chili Guy. I wish you were still here.
Where it began is not where it should be. Oh, Johnny, you really things are. Not getting an arm, even a position player. Would have thought these chants would come.
He's got such confidence.
Beer, concession stands, ticket prices, all higher than me, higher than you. Please, John Henry.
Huh?
Please, John Henry.
The beer concession prices are higher than me, higher than you.
Too expensive for
how
Joe
is it
average.
Higher than me and higher than you?
Concession stand.
How are prices higher than someone?
Ticket prices higher than me, higher than you.
It's better than some parodies I've heard recently.
Please, John Henry, sell the team.
All right, I can't do it anymore.
Thank you.
Just as a rule, if you can't sing, you shouldn't be making parody
Well, no,
songs.
you can. No, it's sometimes funny if you can't sing. AKA the song that won our whole contest,
Yeah,
the MASH
true,
theme. No, that I know. If you can't hear what you're saying, that's a problem. And also, when one of your first of all, that went on for another 2.5 minutes. And second of all, if one of your lines is beer prices are higher than me, higher than you, you couldn't think of anything else to compare it to. It's a real problem.
Ticket prices.
All right. Well, if I can get over this walking club malfeasance.
You got to let it go.
I know. Let go. Let go.
Where do they walk?
Serenity now.
Do they walk around the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Sure.
They just pick up all the hypodermic needles laying around in Andover. They look for porn in the woods. That's really what they do.
Then they get those New Balance trail walkers.
Yeah. They found a 1987 edition of Nugget, and then they all ran home crying. The best is when I told the story about finding the best is when I told the story about finding Nugget magazine, which was disgusting. I actually ran inside and asked my mom about it because I was so upset that Jim Murray heard it, and he was like, "The same thing happened to me. I found a Nugget magazine and I flipped out. It was the grossest thing I've ever seen. They had ads for amputees and stuff. It's published in the United States.
That wasn't a Larry Flint
No.
publication.
Come on.
Class act like that, no.
Oil them up more. Oil them up. Throw some oil on them.
Move the flour. You're blocking it.
Flowers? This is for the working man. Guccione's making science rags. Well, I'm out here making stuff for guys in prison. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Tom Karen, I'm sorry, Tom, that you had such a difficult song skewering the Red Sox before we put you on, but nonetheless, show must go on. We will have that for you in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy.
We're Toucher and Hardy. Tom Caron, everyone knows, longtime studio host and broadcast announcer for Nesson. Tom Caron joins us at this time on every Thursday. Hi, Tom.
Good morning. How we doing?
We're doing good. And Mike Felger threw a nice, fun thing in our laps. Regardless of its validity, it was interesting to hear about. And he said that he had gotten a text on his phone. He admitted it was not from necessarily an insider source, but it said the Red Sox were looking to do something big to kind of like wow the fan base and look for Mike Trout. It would be Duran and Bayo for Trout. Your thoughts, Tom Caron, as someone who's loosely associated with the organization.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting for fans. It is. And I haven't seen them show any indication of making a move for the fans like that. How many deals have they not gotten done because they don't want to commit to the years and the price tag? And it would be stunning to see them about face for a deal like that. Now, all right. I can tell you a million reasons why.
Tom, I'm sorry. We're going to have to get you on the phone. I apologize. But this is the second week. We're having trouble.
Yeah, I don't know.
We get other guys on the we get other guys
on the Zoom,
but we're just going to have to call him right now.
Yeah, we're going to get him on the phone. It was funny. He was fine when we had him queued up, but I do remember last week, same thing.
It's got to be on his end because it doesn't happen with other guys that Zoom in. Was Mark Daniels on the phone or did he Zoom in?
We used Zoom audio for Mark Daniels. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And that worked. Yeah. So, all right. We just need to get Tom on the phone.
Nick's going to get him on the phone right now.
Because I know if I was listening and it was cutting out like that, it would drive me insane. Me, I can deal with it because it's like I'm not even paying attention. Right. All right. He's up on the phone. All right. Tom Caron, I'm sorry.
I heard you guys fine, so I'll pick up where I left off. I just, how many deals have they not done because of years, because of salary? And it would be stunning to me that they're going to go against all their plans, everything they have clearly tried to accomplish without those deals, and do that right now. Now, I can tell you a million ways why I love the idea and how it make our pre-games and post-game shows a hell of a lot more exciting. But, man, that would be a stunning admission that everything they have tried to do over the last few years was wrong. And I can't imagine them doing that, but I would love for them to prove me wrong because, last couple of nights, Mike Trout would have made a hell of a lot of difference on that team.
Okay, so
no doubt about it.
Because some people are doubting this trade, and the way I looked at it is, look, you're not very good. You're just not. And yes, your pitching seems to be fine, and you could even stand to lose Bayo, and certainly if you got Trout, then Duran's is something you don't need anymore. But just in terms of shaking things up and bringing in a star, I've grown to see kind of the appeal to that. If you're running a major organization and you're spending a lot of money and in your fan base, you're getting really just kind of like blah, is it the worst thing in the world to move some redundancies off your roster and bring in a big-time superstar? And you seem to be in the camp of there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all. And, so they won the game last night with 2 home runs. It was the third time in 21 home games this season that they've hit more than 1 home run in a game, which is ridiculous at Fenway Park. It's a hitter's ballpark. You have to hit home runs or doubles anyway, and they haven't hit enough of those either. But they're 3-0 when they hit 2 home runs in a game at Fenway Park. And so would Mike Trout help that? Of course he would. And would he be, listen, it'd be an instant jolt to the fan base. Again, it would be a stunning turnaround for them, but it would also, would it be surprising that Mike Trout would agree to it? Mike Trout has never wanted to leave Anaheim, and he's probably been able to go other places and be the guy there, although Artie Moreno never wants to admit that they're not going anywhere. But it'd be surprising to me on his end that he's going to waive his no trade protection to come to a place that is an absolute mess right now.
There's a lot of reasons it won't happen, but to answer your question, sure. I think dropping Mike Trout into the middle of this would jolt the system, and God, this system needs a jolt.
When is Roman Anthony coming back? He would actually also help jolt the lineup.
Yeah, from the start, they kept downplaying it and saying it was so quick. I don't think they did him any favors by making it sound like he would be back so quickly, because then, you start wondering, well, they said he'd be back quickly. Why isn't he returning? He's not swinging a bat yet, and it's a hand-wrist issue. So I worry that, until you show me he's swinging and that his hand's not swelling up and that he's not having any pain in the swing, I have no idea when he's coming back. So I can't imagine. And I mean, again, has it been short enough that he can just jump right back into the lineup? He's a young guy. I don't know that he needs a rehab, but he's going to need a few days after he starts to swing to take live batting practice and get his timing back, working the trajects machine and all that stuff. So, I mean, I would, if you're asking me to guess, maybe when they get back home a week from tomorrow after the road trip, which would probably be, that's pretty quick, I guess. So, yeah, it's amazing how quickly you miss a young guy like that. They just, because the lack of power that we talked about in the preseason is really biting this team in the backside right now.
Back to Mike Trout for a second. One of the things we were talking about earlier, Tom, is the notion that he would be a great leadership injection for the team. And there's two ways of looking at it. One, that you really don't know enough about him, or you feel like, yeah, he's not known as being a leader, or that he would just lead by example, by the fact that just show these guys, hey, offense is a good thing. I can hit a bunch of home runs here. Do you have an opinion one way or the other as to whether or not he would be a great leadership ad for the team?
Yeah, I think maybe more the latter. I think just being Mike Trout makes you a leader. He's got the resume, he's got the history. You look at these two teams playing the last couple nights, right? They both made managing changes within 4 days of each other. But you look at the veterans on that Phillies roster, and it's not a huge surprise they've gone 11-4 since the change. I mean, you got Schwarber, you got Harper, you got Marsh, who's become one of the better hitters in the game. And, these are veteran guys. You don't have that here. You just don't. You have a lot of young guys, and even the guys who've been here a few years, Duran is struggling, and he's a guy that has developed into a leader in this group, but, it hasn't been an easy run for him. We all know that. There's just, you don't have, so if you drop in someone who's got the resume of Mike Trout, of course that changes the leadership quotient for the better, because they just don't have enough veterans in that on the position side. They got more of them on the pitching side, but it's different for the position guys, and I think Trout would help that.
It's funny because I just want to get your take on this. It's very Boston to me of people questioning Trout's leadership, because it's like, well, he's just stayed in Anaheim, and he's kind of just been complacent and just sitting in Anaheim. But the counter to that is, well, while he's one of the best players in baseball history, he demands a trade, which makes him a diva. So you're telling me there's no situation that there's nothing he could have done in Anaheim to prove anything other than he's not a good leader, because either scenario makes him not a good leader. I don't know if he is or not, but I don't think there's any evidence that he's a clubhouse cancer.
Yeah, it's such a Boston concept that, unless he's coming here from New York or Chicago, he doesn't know anything about leadership. He's been a small market, and we think 26 teams are small markets. And so you got to come here to prove it. I don't know. Boston is different, and I know it's not what it used to be, that it's, but the fans are on this team hard. He knows that. He knows what's going on here. Is he the kind of guy who can come into this situation and not let it affect him? I assume, because he's a damn good ball player. But listen, there's a reason this team is really struggling at home. And I don't care what you tell me. This team presses at Fenway Park right now. It's a young team. It feels the pressure at home. They're 8-13 at home. They've got the fewest runs scored and the lowest slugging percentage of any team in the league at home, which is insane at Fenway Park with the hitters' dimensions. So the
the fact that you see it here at Fenway, you see them they run a game less at home than they have on the road. They're feeling it here, and anybody with a history like that would help you relax a little bit at home.
So I heard on Felger and Maz or on the baseball show that, and I hope I don't get this wrong, that Jared Carrabis had heard that they were, again, looking to make a move, but Tatis in San Diego would be a guy that they were looking at. And then, San Diego's playing really well. Tatis can play infield and he can play outfield.
And he's younger. He's in his late 20s.
Right.
He's younger, yeah.
He loves steroids. There's a lot of things about him. But do you? It's kind of unfair to ask, but why would the Padres want to do that? What's up with that?
That makes less sense to me. And again, I don't want to start another cycle of rumors because I have no knowledge of this, but I had heard Francisco Lindor's name thrown around at one point by Mets people, not by Red Sox people. But it did. I heard people in Philly that I trust, 2 weeks ago before the move with the manager, were talking about maybe they move a big piece. Like, there's a lot of good teams that are really struggling. Seattle's another one. And there was a feeling from people I know in the game that there could be some early trades. Instead of the usual a seller and a buyer, it's two teams that are a mess. Maybe they flip a guy, right? Maybe, we need pitching, you need a hitter. Let's try to work something out to spark both our teams. And all of the Padres a little less in that group, but these other teams, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a deal, because the Red Sox, nothing has changed since the offseason where Duran and Bayo are both, those two guys with a change of venue would be, I think, pretty enticing for a lot of teams. And they're both, Duran is expendable when Anthony comes back because you still have the extra outfielder situation with these young guys, with what we've seen from Early and Tolley and even Jake Bennett. You could deal a pitcher. So, you could get a lot. You could have gotten a lot this offseason if you would have dealt Jarren Duran and Brian Bayo in a deal. And that hasn't changed. So I think, all of this goes back to the Red Sox with those two guys and their struggles. They could do something exciting if you could get a dance partner this early in the season.
Yeah, that would be certainly from a fan standpoint, and as I'm not a huge fan of the Red Sox, but as someone who loves going to the games, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if you brought in a big name. Certainly, since you just seem to be stuck. It's something. All this planning and everything, sometimes you just got to shake things up. I've seen enough.
You mentioned earlier, the pitching and defense has been legit. It's the best defensive team they've had in a long, long time. And we've seen the pitching here the last few nights. You lost a game 2-1 and you won a game 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good pitching. With Slayton back last night, you saw that bullpen slots out right up there with the best of them. Your 7, 8, 9 are as good as anybody in the American League right now.
Right.
You got to get it there with the lead, and you haven't been able to do that. So if you can make that move and bring in a bat and jolt the system, because I'll tell you what, the last couple of days, the environment at Fenway has been okay. There's a lot of Phillies fans, and it's just these two teams getting it. But over the weekend, you heard the boos. Sunday when they were losing to Tampa, you heard the boos, and they were pretty loud. And it's early in the season for the fans to be turning on it. So there's no doubt they hear that upstairs. And if you could make some sort of impact move early, like way before the trade deadline, the next few weeks, that at least would show that you're not going down without a fight, and they need to show that.
All right. Well, that's great. Tom Caron, great stuff. I like what you're saying. I think it's a very it shows a good finger on the pulse of what the fans are thinking and what this team, franchise could really stand to do. And I like the way you're thinking. Tom Caron. It makes me feel better about what I'm thinking because a lot of people said I was dumb. Tom Caron, appreciate it.
We'll be dumb together, Fred. I love it. Let's do it.
At least you have some bona fides. I just walk around being dumb all the time. Tom Caron, watch him on the NESN broadcast. He's the best. Tom, thanks again. We always appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom. Interesting. I'm telling you, you didn't like it, John, but I'm telling you, just do something. Life's too short. I'm telling you, just do something.
They need to do something. Right. Tom's right. This ownership has shied away from spending a lot of money, especially that far into the future.
Yeah, but I know. But they spent. But they're in terms of the league, they're up there. And
I can kind of see Tatis because he's 27 or 28.
I don't see what the Padres would do.
But no, that's where I was going. San Diego would never do that.
No, I'm not saying Carabas didn't hear it or that he's wrong. Carabas knows all those guys. He knows everybody. But that's not the point I'm making. The point is that Lindor makes sense with the Mets if they were going to try to just shake things up, not give up on the season, but trade a piece to kind of like change things up.
Just tough to convince yourself as a Padres front office or even a fan, like how that's going to help you.
Well,
How's that going to make you better?
I wouldn't touch anything if I was the Padres.
Right.
I'd be like this, we're winning. We're ahead of the Dodgers right now. Let's not do anything.
You want a nice Mets rumor? I was reading last week.
Very quickly.
Real quick. They may be interested in Trevor Story.
Oh, good. All right. That's good. Well, okay. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
Patriots will take.
coming to the spot. The Sports Hub.
IYKYK, which obviously YD. Okay?
Dutcher and Hardy, mornings of the Sports Hub.
Hardy and Hardy, there was an announcement for an activity the listeners can get involved with. What was that announcement?
It is for the 15th annual Who's Your Caddy Golf Classic. They will go on sale Wednesday, May 20th, 10 a.m. You can purchase your foursome through 985thesportshub.com/golf. There will be the information there for you right now. All the proceeds benefiting Special Olympics Massachusetts. Great partner this year. They're going to be providing a lot for the tournament, and we've got great auction prizes this year. We've got great silent auction items, and when you purchase your foursome, that includes the 18 holes, the cart, the gift bag, the post-round lunch. It's all at Brook Meadow Country Club in Canton. Once again, great hosts out there. Monday, June 8th, 8:30 shotgun start, Zoe and Beetle broadcasting live. And this year, in order to raise additional funds for Special Olympics, we need a fourth. We need a fourth, and the afternoon show needs a fourth. So you will be able to bid on taking the spot in our foursome comprised of me, Fred, and John Wallach. You'll be our fourth. I would welcome the opportunity to ride and to be partnered up with that person. You and John can have your own little cart.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Johnny and I are cart buddies. I will ask you this. If you are playing in this thing and you could play, I'd even take a phone call or two, 617-779-0985.
Yes.
I don't want to make a bit out of it, but it just occurred to me. Would you rather be in the cart with Hardy, John and I, or Felger, Maz, and Jim?
Ooh.
Because Felger and I are both a-holes.
Yeah.
And both not the most social people, good in social situations. So you would have to make the decision of who is more social, Felger or I. Maz and John kind of see. We got the secret weapon, which is Hardy, because Hardy gets along with everyone, unless he's pissed.
He'll talk your ear off. He'll talk to you till you don't want him to talk to you anymore.
He wants to. I'll tell you. I saw this guy when I was sitting in traffic yesterday. It was an old man, and he had a guy working in his garage. And oh boy, was he hovering around him. He wasn't letting that guy get a foot away from him. He was just leering at him. And like you could tell he was pointing at stuff and being a total pain in the ass. He's probably 90 years old, just ordering this guy around. And I thought
I was just thinking about my my habit of doing that the other day when I went through the last of my glass cleaner that I have for my car windows, which was given to me by the I think it was the Safe Light Auto guy. He came out to replace my daughter's windshield.
Of course it was.
And I was hanging around him for so long and asking him about the stuff he was using that he gave me a can of his glass cleaner just so I would go away.
Well, that's kind of a win.
You take that, put that in your garage, and to keep it up there, you got to keep it, put it in a cool, dry
As a matter of
place
fact,
right away.
take it to your garage right now.
Yeah, that's what he
while I
told me.
finish.
Just to get me away from the car.
So Maz in John, Maz is a really nice guy too, and makes a lot of friends. So that's their Hardy.
See, but Big Jim will bring some party favors.
Yeah, Jim,
that's very true.
He'll have the amyl nitrate. He'll keep it fun.
Yes, Jim still parties, so you got that. So yeah, there's a lot of plus and minuses.
I used to bring the beer, but no longer. Don't bring the beer.
I would
anymore.
have Wallach at the bottom of my list of people I would want to ride.
See, that's not nice. Explain yourself.
Because you're going to wall dick him.
That's not true.
It
not
is.
at this event. Not if they pay a lot of money.
Wall dick, well, yeah.
They pay a lot of money to be there. I won't do it.
Dan, but the thing is, I can't be performing for 4 hours. It's a long round.
Sure.
Like, I
4?
Yeah, I can't be funny.
It's really not bad. That thing moved right along
It
last
did,
year.
but it's
No,
not
last
4.
year it wasn't bad.
It's
It
not
wasn't
4.
bad. Dan, go ahead.
See, as a listener of this show, I like you guys' sense of humor and everything. I can't stand the afternoon guys, but if you ask the same question at the afternoon show, that crowd maybe would rather ride with them, but that would be a punishment to me to sit with those three guys. Oh, God.
Let me
But
tell you
Maz isn't like that in real life.
No, Maz would be, he'd be my top choice. and someone to ride with. In fact, I'm playing in a 3-day tournament with Maz this summer.
Oh,
Jesus
that's
Christ,
nice.
you with the golf and the friends.
Good Lord.
It's so annoying. Jerry, go ahead.
Freddie.
Yes.
I mean, it's hands down. Felger's got to be the worst guy to ride with. I mean, I'm a single-digit handicap, and I cannot imagine 4.5 hours of him just, bitching and moaning about the lie, the sand, the sun. Oh, I forgot my SPF. Are you serious?
Yeah.
We would have a lot of laughs. I don't drink. I drive you guys around all through the evening in Boston afterwards.
Well,
I've ridden with Felger. It was one of the more enjoyable times I've had on a golf course. He's a different guy.
Yeah. I mean, no one's the same everyone's a heightened. I mean, you're performing on air.
Yeah.
I mean, you are. I mean, you're being a version of yourself, but it's certainly a much heightened version of yourself. Like, when you're talking to someone in real life, you're not nearly as caustic as you normally be. Felger is the problem with Felger is even like with me dealing with Felger talks about how he doesn't want to be bothered and how he doesn't want people around him so much that like if I saw him out, I would be me. I would be like kind of like I don't want to bug him because I don't know if he's just putting on an act with that, but there has to be a tinge of realness to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if Felger and Maz were at Pucks and Paddles last year, and I told John this, I'm like, I think the nicest thing I can do is just leave him alone because I think I'd just be annoying him if I went up and said hello. Like the danger of annoying him was greater than the danger of offending him.
It's true.
And I thought, and I really, because I talked to John, because I do want people to like me in real life. Like I would like them to like go, oh, that's a good guy. And so I went to John. I go, I think maybe the best thing I can do is not even say hello to Felger because I'd just be bothering him because he's doing his show.
And I agreed with you. I thought that was a smart thing to do.
Now, Jim I like, and Matt, and I like Felger too. But I hung out with Felger when the station first started, and I think the mistake I made is I talked about it on the air. And I do not think that he liked
didn't you go out to dinner with him once?
I think I went out to dinner. I went
Yeah.
he invited me out with like him and his wife, but I never went. And then him and I went to like a game.
Right.
But then he didn't want to hang out with me anymore. And I know he didn't want to hang out with me anymore because he told people that he didn't want to hang out with me anymore.
Oh. That's unfortunate.
That was a long time ago.
But Maz,
oh God, please.
Maz and Felger too. They strike the right balance in these things of okay, we're going to care about this for the 10 seconds before the shot, and we're not going to be endlessly talking about our strategy for doing this stuff. No, it's and they can both play.
Well, you're not winning with either foursome
No,
because there's
no.
always a foursome that's like 700 under par.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You're like, how'd you get negative? You shot a -2.
That's
like
impressive.
The ball went in without you touching it. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
3 eagles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
3 eagles. All right.
Oilers have fired head coach Chris Knobloch. Round number 1 of the PGA Championship underway in suburban Philadelphia. Steven Jaeger of Germany is your new leader at 3 under par. And Nashville SC beat the New England Revolution at Gillette Stadium last night 3-0. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Rodenheiser Home Services, now serving the South Shore and surrounding communities. Heating, AC, plumbing, electrical, remodel, and architecture. Rodenheiser has you covered. Local, family-owned, and trusted since 1928. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
This is what happens when analysts take over the games, take over the sport.
This is where you talk sports.
It happens all the time.
The Sports Hub.
Big show on the way.
Need a little help getting started in the morning?
It's very dangerous.
They've got the experts.
So, no.
Toucher and Hardy.
No.
On the Sports Hub.
There are some concerns, and Gary Myers has been covering sports in the NFL forever. He's got a new book coming out called Saving Big Blue, John Harbaugh's Fight to Revive a Sleeping Giant. It's due out next fall, so I'm sure he's working on that right now. Gary Myers, hello, sir.
Brett, how you doing today?
Good, man. I appreciate you coming on as always. And look, you've been covering sports a long time, and you know that, you know, the popularity of things ebbs and flows. I'm sure during your career, you've seen, you know, baseball go from the biggest sport in the country to falling off. You've seen other sports, you know, peak in popularity. And obviously the NFL is just incredibly huge. But there, in my opinion, I'm just interested in a macro sense of when the tipping point is. So let's start with your opinion. I believe there's 7 international games.
9.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think it's actually 9.
I apologize. There's 9 international games. You know, this is taking games out of obviously the team stadiums. This is putting them on at odd hours. Let's start there. Are they pushing it with the 9 international games?
Yeah, Fred, it's 9 games in 7 countries. There's 3 that are in London this season.
Okay.
You know, I tweeted something yesterday that I'm thinking about, you know, how many years, 3 to 5 years, the announcement on schedule day will be Goodell saying there's going to be 9 games in the United States. Because the rest of it will be abroad.
Right.
I think, I don't know, maybe I'm too old school here, but why does the NFL feel compelled to share what is by far the most popular game in this country? Why do they feel compelled to share it with the rest of the world and take the games away from the fans here? They're totally diluting the Sunday afternoon package.
I want to get to that. I do want to get to that. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, with the streaming services and you know, basically putting a game on every night of the week, every holiday, you know, for all the people out there, you know, who have wives who don't enjoy football, or for the wives who have husbands who don't like football. They ruined Thanksgiving Eve, 3 games on Thanksgiving, and then Black Friday. All these games on Christmas Day. But just as far as the international games, you know, it started off with I really believe that they were just looking for a way to increase the merchandising sales. And but it's gone way beyond that now, where Goodell obviously has a plan for the American football. I mean, it's called football in the rest of the world, referring to soccer. But he has a plan for American football to become the most popular sport globally. And I just, you know, when, like you said, when is enough enough? When have they made enough money? And at what point do they kill the golden goose? And I just don't think fans are fans here are not happy about all these games going abroad. And it's just a matter of time before he puts the Super Bowl in London. I don't know if Goodell will still be the commissioner at that point, but I definitely see that coming. And I just don't. I think that would be really unfortunate if that happens.
Yeah, because let's just talk about the schedule at the end of the year. You mentioned it. There's games all over the place. The Sunday schedule, if you're Fox or CBS, it's you're left with crumbs. the Sundays at the end of the season are going to be a bunch of, Arizona versus Tennessee crap.
You're going to have 3 1:00 games and 2 in the 4 o'clock window, and it just takes away of so much from not only like what that day is supposed to be and what you want it to be, and then the quality of those games too. Fred, like you're saying, is just going to be crap.
So my point, Gary, is that the NFL is very popular. They've gotten this way playing on Sunday, right? Like they played on Sundays, then they played on Monday night, and that was very popular. But I heard Jim Nantz yesterday, and he was saying that the audience for the 4:30 games on both Fox and CBS is way bigger than the Sunday night football game. That's what he was saying. He's saying it's a solid fact. It's every week that people think because it's a standalone game on Sunday nights that's the highest rated, but that's just not the case. So people watch football on Sundays. This is how the NFL has gotten popular. Is it possible, Gary, that by diluting Sundays in particular, the NFL is in danger of losing audience in the long run?
Yeah, I think that, as you're saying that, I think the most unhappiest person by the dilution of the Sunday package is probably Scott Hansen, who does the NFL Red Zone.
It's just going to be one game. Yeah. He's just going to be calling play-by-play of a Tennessee-Arizona game.
Yeah, I mean, at some point he's going to have 2 games in the 1 o'clock window and then 2 games in the 4 o'clock window, and that'll be it. I think they have to be really careful here. They're trying to renegotiate the contracts with all the traditional broadcast networks, CBS and Fox and NBC. And I know they tried really hard with CBS because there's a clause in that deal that if any of the networks got sold, they can reopen negotiations right away. And so they've done that with CBS and haven't gotten very far. And as they continue to take away the games from Sunday afternoon, it makes the packages, less desirable. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is what's going on with the Department of Justice, and they're trying to, I think it's the Department of Justice that's looking into this, all the games going to streamers. And, Donald Trump is behind that, forcing the average viewer to pay for games they would have always gotten on traditional TV. So I think with this ESPN NFL merger, so to speak, they've thrown some games back that I think were going to be on the NFL Network, and they're giving them to the networks. We're trying to navigate through Brooklyn here. My wife is driving, so excuse me.
Yeah, you got to navigate. I understand what I'm saying. You got to.
I'm waving or telling you where to turn. I think they're giving some. If you've noticed that some of the most recent announcements have been about, some extra games going to CBS and Fox and NBC, and I think that's to placate the government. But Netflix is going to have 5 games this year, which is the most they've ever had. And I think it's going to continue to go in that direction. And, combined with what we talked about before with the international games, it's all predicated on how do they make the most money. And I'm sorry. And it's, hold on a second. Turn right here, please, honey.
Do you always say "turn right here, please, honey"? Or is
I'm only doing that for the
performative?
Yeah, we kind of guessed. Yeah.
But why do I think I'm like the greatest husband ever? At least she was making dirty faces at me before. At least she's laughing now. I think that, definitely the direction we're going here is more international games to the point where every team is going to play an international game every season. And that's probably only a couple of years away. And I think more games are going to go to the streamers because Amazon already has a full package. Netflix has 5, I think, for at least the next 3 years. And then after that, when these network deals are up, if they haven't renegotiated them yet, you can kind of feel that more are going to go to the streamers because that's where the money is right now. And is that in the best interest of the fans? I don't think so.
No. Well, it's in the best interest, as you said.
Get into here is.
No, I was just going to say it's in the interest of making money, and I understand if they're not growing the business, they feel like they're doing it a disservice. So, all right, let's just take it for granted. It's happening. What do you think happens first, Gary? Do you think there will be a Super Bowl held outside of North America, or do you think there will be a team based outside of North America? Which one of those would happen first?
Well, I think maybe a Super Bowl. I think it's going to be really hard to put one team in London. I mean, eventually, and I think I heard Adam Schefter talking about this the other day, maybe there'll be a whole division of games, of teams in Europe.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Which would make the travel easy. Yeah, I mean, that does make some sense to me if they're really going to try to expand into Europe. But I think the possibility of a Super Bowl in London probably comes first. But the thing that you really have to consider here is the time difference.
Yep.
If they want to play the game at 6:30 in prime time on a Sunday, that's 11:30 p.m. in London. So that's not going to happen. And if they play it, at 9 o'clock in London, that's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, potentially that could happen. With the game in Australia coming up between the Rams and the 49ers opening weekend, because of the time difference, that game is being played local time in Melbourne at 10:30 in the morning. I'm sure the players are thrilled about that.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's ridiculous. All right, Gary, we appreciate it. You're a very good husband, and we'll plug the book. Have a great day. We
Wait a
appreciate
second. Did you hear that, honey? He said I'm a good husband.
it. Yeah. You performed well today.
That's okay, honey. We'll just go around the block again. It's okay that you missed it.
Yeah, looking for street parking. I'm sure it's no issue in Brooklyn.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right. All right. Thank you, Gary. We appreciate it.
All right, take care, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right, take it easy. So I told you one of the great appearances I've heard on radio, in sports radio, was last year. Mad Dog had the guy responsible to schedule, whatever his name is, and whatever the title is. He was the guy responsible for the schedule, and he's like, you play in Abu Dhabi? And the guy's like, maybe, yeah. And he's like, so you got to get a day off after that? And he's like, no, not necessarily. Like, everything was just like, boom, like, F you.
Well, if you're going to play Thursday in Abu Dhabi, they'll be coming off the bye week? No. He was just like, not necessarily, no. Like, I'm not telling you anything. They can play Sunday night prime time and then go overseas for a Thursday night.
You think the Rams and 49ers are going to get a bye week 2 after starting in Australia?
So here's the thing. Here's the thing is that streaming is streaming. What are you going to do? They're desperate for live content because that's how you monetize things. You sell advertising during the live content. People that want to build brands want advertising at the same time, people's eyes on it. It's just a fact. It's the best return on investment if you're building a brand, which is, I would believe, if you have a business, you should be trying to do, but that's a marketing issue. So they want that stuff. My concern is people will search out and find streaming issues. That's a whole different thing. My concern, and the international thing's a whole different thing. My concern, if I was an owner in the NFL, would be this, is that we're really, really popular. And the way we got this way is that we're once a week on Sunday, with a couple exceptions. But that's where we've made this money. We're different. Part of the reason we're different, and we always haven't been the most popular sport, not by any stretch. You remember the first Super Bowl was in a lot of people's lifetimes, Like, the Super Bowl III wasn't in 1920. I mean, it was in the late 60s. So the NFL has that, and that was some throwaway gag game between the AFL and the NFL. Like, it was a joke. I mean, Namath made it as popular as it was because he was such a dynamic character. But, we did this in the last few decades. Like, we've grown the game by doing it this way. I'd be really concerned about moving games off of Sundays. Really concerned. Because that's the whole selling point. A lot of it is Sundays. This is how America spends a Sunday.
It's appointment viewing, and we said this a couple of days ago. The anticipation of getting to Sunday is part of what made the NFL great 5-10 years ago. Oh my God, there's one game. There are only so many of these during the season. You have 5 or 6 days to gear yourself up for this, make plans, who you're going to watch it with, what's going to happen. And now you have games on Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays. It's just the newness of it, the anticipation, the missing it is gone. And it's the TV broadcast, too. I think ESPN has the Super Bowl for the first time this coming season. But how much time before Amazon Prime gets one?
Don't you feel it's interesting that Nance said that the 4:30 games on both networks are way higher?
I would have thought Sunday night would have blown everybody else out of the water.
And he wasn't BSing. I looked it up. They do much better on Sunday at 4:30. That's really the spot with the most eyes on it. So the NFL is wrong. So if that's the case, I bet you that the 4:30 games on Sundays do double what Thursday Night Football does, maybe more. So it's like you're getting less eyes on games, and I think it's a big risk just going. And I know Netflix just is desperate for live programming, and these streaming services are just desperate for live programming. Right. That's why they're giving stand-ups, $100 million to do 2 specials. I get it. They want to run ads, and they need live programming. Because that's why podcasts suck, is that it's very hard to advertise. It's episodic. It's hard to advertise on. But I just don't think – I love football, but I don't know on Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, say it's Rams-Seahawks, like a good game. I'm not positive I'm watching that thing. I don't know that I'm gonna. That's like what I'm particularly gonna want to do that night.
It is good. I think it's Rams Green Bay actually.
So it's even worse. It's a worse game than I just propositioned. Yes. I just propositioned you an NFC title bout.
Yeah.
Well, listen, John. If you're worried about Sunday in Week 1, have no worries, because there's a big one coming up. You'll have your Wednesday night Patriots game. You'll get that out of the way because it's all just an appetizer for your New York Jets traveling to Tennessee.
Nice.
Jets, Titans, powerhouses. Saleh back against the old team.
Of course.
Look out. The NFL's no dummies. They know how to pull eyeballs in. You got to figure that's Sunday Night Football.
They're waiting all day for it. Waiting all day for Sunday night.
You can get the team that had the first pick in the draft 2 years ago against the team that had the second pick in the draft this year.
Mm-hmm.
Kaboom. Don't watch it. Try to get on here and do a show not watching that thing the day before.
At your own peril.
What coach will get fired first? The incompetent Saleh that everyone loves now because he has a new job, and he was completely incompetent as the Jets coach, versus their current incompetent coach. You can get all that going for you. The people talk about Saleh like he's all of a sudden good. Yeah, he was great. It was really the organization that screwed everything
He's
up.
come out of that unemployment car wash smelling well.
It's unbelievable. Like, what the hell? He was a good D coordinator before.
Very good D coordinator.
That's how he got the Jets job.
Yes.
And he goes back to his good coordinator again, and they're going, all of a sudden he's a good head coach.
That's the best way to get loved again, though, is like go from head coach, failed head coach, to a coordinator of some kind. And people will all be like, wow, great get.
Yeah.
Great get. That guy was a head coach. And now you've got him just handling like only half of his responsibilities. He's going to be awesome. And they can't wait to give you your next head coaching job.
It's like, you guys know, I talk to these insiders about the Jets, like off air and like stuff, and they're much more honest about things. Saleh was a terrible head coach. He was. Like, they'll tell you, like Sam Darnold, everyone thought was good. It was the Jets that ruined him because Gase was such a mess. So they tell you the truth off the mics about things. Saleh's a bad coach. He's going to be bad in Tennessee, too. And they don't have a quarterback either. So good luck. And they got to stick with Cam Ward. They can't draft a quarterback. They got to stick with him. Gave him a lot of money. Used a lot of resources to get him. All right. We'll be back with our award-winning email segment.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports.
Sports Hub.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
What do you like in a woman? What? Yeah, you tell me.
brains.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Al Cole. By the way, there is a new Thuppets video up on at Toucher and Hardy on Instagram. I believe. Do we put those on Twitter too?
Yes. Yes, we did.
They go everywhere. They go on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of them.
Adam, you're locked into these kinds of things. Where does Twitter stand in terms of its value?
Oh, it's near useless. I was just reading a study the other day about like it kind of like the pyramid of like what people are using what social platforms, and Twitter was like at the top of the pyramid with 1%. Like,
because I heard I think it was one of the writers that we have in, and they were talking about how like little, I think maybe it was Callahan, how little traffic comes off of Twitter.
Yeah.
Now I don't like Twitter anyway, but I'm trying. So that's why I'm asking Adam. So Instagram is the most valuable one?
See, for what we do, yes, Instagram has the most value right now.
All right. So anyway, look at Hardy makes these fantastic Thuppets videos. And what I like about it is that what you do in your job and in your life is you find someone who's very good at something and you let them do it. That's my advice. Hardy's brilliant with these videos.
Oh, thank you, Fred.
I will have a little idea here and there, but they're all Hardy's creation. And Nick, we think we might have the next one for next month. You peeing in one of them there bottles. Nick put a video up on at Toucher and Hardy. It's also at Hardy985 and at Fred Toucher of our conversation of one of these old Major League pitchers. His ex-wife is saying that he was peeing in shampoo bottles, and I questioned how she would know. And you two ventured smell, and I said, no way. Shampoo's perfumed. I'm not positive that you could smell anything, and I'm not sure all urine smells. And that created quite a debate. And scientists called in, and I mean, you all heard it. It was a whole thing. You'll read about it in the paper tomorrow. It's a real hot button for people.
We did receive an email. And you already took care of the email thing there, Fred?
No, thank you. The Toucher and Hardy email segment is powered by Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers. If you've been hurt in a car work accident, you got to get Glassman, our friend. Don't just send an email. Call all sevens at 617-777-7777 or visit gottagetglassman.com.
All right, so with Carl Pavano and his divorce proceedings going on right now, yes, it is alleged that, among other things, he peed in a shampoo bottle belonging to his wife. Ryan emailed in to say that I had a roommate do it to me in college when we were fighting. It's an oil mixing with water situation. You can easily tell. So to push back on your statement, Fred, that you wouldn't be able to tell if somebody urinated in your shampoo bottle, Ryan is here to say that you can absolutely tell. That makes me like it less or more.
We're going to have to test that theory out. Jonathan says, morning, Fred. In defense of your take that it was surprising to find that Dan could golf considering his athleticism, let's remember that he was forced to step away, no pun intended, from his walking club for an extended period of time because he sustained a lower leg injury due to the overexerting nature of walking. It was an Achilles or something similar, if I remember correctly. That's John in New Hampshire. Again, that walking club, entering it up, getting Dan thinking that I was bad-mouthing him when I was doing absolutely the opposite.
Couple of emails calling you out, Hardy, for moving day with your daughter.
Yeah.
And how you did not have a rope and tarp in the truck to cover your belongings in the rain on the way home. They are shocked that you were without both of those things.
I was in a borrowed truck yesterday, and it did not have the tonneau cover. I did have rope, of course, for tying things down. The only thing I had there was like a quilted moving blanket. I didn't check the weather. I didn't think it was going to be an issue. It wasn't supposed to be, and it wasn't until I was driving out there and started raining on me. I said, "Oh, this could be a situation." It was not. Everything was fine.
Okay.
Everything stayed dry. It was good.
How long did the whole process take?
Everything, the drive out, the load, and the drive back.
The load.
It was 5 hours and 10 minutes.
Oh, so it only took me close to 1/3 of the time to drive to my son's game yesterday. That was 35 miles away.
Hours.
No, he went to Amherst. I went 35 miles to Groton, and it took me an hour and 40 minutes, no joke, on the dot, an hour and 40 minutes to get there.
5 hours out to Amherst and back, with packing included. And it took about 45 minutes to pack.
And stopping at Starbucks.
Of course.
Because you can't go
right
5 minutes in any direction with my daughter.
Did she at least get coffee?
She got some green tea.
Yeah,
from
like,
matcha.
see, that's annoying.
Yeah.
That's annoying because my daughter obviously doesn't drink coffee, and she wants to go to Starbucks all the time, and it's for something that's pink. And,
Right.
and it's just
Pink
like,
drink.
Well, it's whatever is on TikTok.
Yeah.
That's why. It's the same thing with the stupid hacky sack, which my son's already given up on.
So my daughter said that
Not
like
mine.
the boys, in the dorm, they're all playing hacky sack all hours. She pointed out the worn spot of grass, in front of their dorm where they were all playing. And I said, you know how that started? I said, it was just one video that went viral before spring break. And then during spring break, somebody made a fake account, an MIAA hacky sack ranking. And they started ranking high schools and then colleges based on videos that they would upload and link to this person. And people knew it was fake, but they didn't care. They wanted to have their school ranked in the official Massachusetts high school hacky sack rankings, and now it's gone to colleges and all that other stuff too. But to the point where you can't buy a hacky sack. They're all sold out. They only had 4 of them. And it, in all stores all around, the greater Boston area. The guy whose website in California that the Globe article talked about said, yeah, I used to get on a good day, maybe 40 visitors to the site. That was something. He's getting 4,000 a day now. And he said, there's no way. I've been making hacky sacks for 30 years and I'm not equipped for this. It's nice, but I can't really do much about it. I can't fill all these orders. And it'll all be done in a month. Yeah.
Fidget spinner. That's what this is. Hacky sack is this year's fidget spinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, but does it have the usage in schools that were, it fixes all your problems if you have a fidget spinner?
That's right.
I mean, it's really Ritalin for the hands. David says, today's a good day for some Ray Lewis. I just wrote the date and realized it's 5:15. 5:15:75. I can't do it without hearing it. He hasn't been in the news. I can't do it without hearing it. I can't hear it.
It's all about numbers.
Yeah, numbers. I haven't heard him in so long. I can't do it.
Oddly enough, he had a podcast that didn't pan out for him.
How do you figure out that it's not panning out? Is my question.
Because he stopped making episodes about 4 years ago.
Yeah, my question is how you figured out that it didn't work. That's what, like, at what point do you go, oh, this isn't working?
Yeah.
Because it can't be a financial consideration because that's from the beginning to the end.
5:15:75.
5:15:75. All right, there you go. That's as good as I'll get today.
That's all right.
Cam says, I find out tonight if I have to deal with traffic leading to a wedding. A couple I know scheduled their wedding for a Sunday afternoon in October
Classy.
in Foxborough on Route 1. I think I know where this wedding is actually taking place. It's like south of the stadium because I went to a wedding there on the day of Country Fest.
Oh, great.
And I had to sit there. It wasn't even the traffic getting to Country Fest because the Country Fest people, it's an all-day thing and they get there early.
Yeah.
But it was having to wait for them to cross over from P10 across the street when they just stop traffic forever and let 10,000 people walk across the street. That was the bad part of it. Good luck, Cam. I don't know. And there's no way around it. I mean, you're going to.
There's no side road to kind of duck on there at the right place.
And I'll tell you this, I guarantee you that there is a cash bar. Don't worry about that.
Oh, there was a cash bar at this wedding that I went to.
Do you remember
that was
Rutgers'
that
wedding?
was that was the one that Zoe was also at, and there was no food. First of all, there was the ceremony at like 6 p.m. and then afterward there were the cocktails going on for way too long because that's when they went and did all the wedding party pictures during the cocktail hour. So cash bar, Zoe's yelling at the bartender, "I know you. You're the Mad Russian." The guy said, "I am from Ukraine." "Mad Russian, I was here last month." "You, Tito's."
That is great.
"I don't know you. I don't know you." "Yes, you do, Mad Russian." So Zoe has way too much time during cocktail hour. He went and found so now it's like
so see this.
It's like almost 8 o'clock, and we have not been, sent into the room.
Right? Yeah.
No food, no nothing.
Right.
Zoe goes off to find the wedding party where they're taking the photos.
Of course he
To
does.
start yelling at them that it's time to eat.
He does.
He finds them. They're doing the big group photo in front of the venue. He goes and he lays down on the pavement in front of all of them and starts yelling, "I don't feel nothing. I can't feel nothing." And they said, "All right, well, that'll be it for the photos then, I guess."
I told you.
We went in, and finally the first food got served at 9:30. The salads came out. We ate the salads, and we said, "That's it, we're leaving."
Yeah, I would have
It was
too.
10 o'clock. We hadn't eaten yet, and we
I
left.
would have left also.
So
Yeah.
At Crash's first wedding, where he got married to Lady Crash, Pongetti made a speech. But when he was making the speech, you would have to excuse him because he was had missing teeth. Now, how did he miss the teeth? Right before the wedding reception, before the actual wedding, we drank out of Crash's car's trunk beers, in the parking lot of the church.
Classy.
Right. Yeah.
The church beers.
Yeah, church trunk beers. Don't worry about it. They happened. So he goes, Pongetti's in there, and Pongetti was missing teeth because when they were wrestling around, inadvertently Crash kneed Pongetti in the chin.
Yeah.
And broke a couple teeth.
Nice.
But Pongetti was still able to stand up there and say, "Here's to the gash that never heals." And then on was his speech.
Oh boy.
And the rest of it. He did the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't know it, you can Google it. That's the only part of it I can say. Boy, that wedding was fun. It was in Key West for like 5 days. No one had any money. The photographer, John knows this, the photographer took off on a moped drunk and fell and crashed the moped, and it exposed all the film.
Lost everything.
Or broke the drives or
Either
did
way,
something. Whatever.
no wedding photos.
Yeah, whatever happened, it ruined all the wedding photos. He
Right.
was so hammered that he got on a scooter and took off and immediately crashed it.
Yeah.
People saw him crash it. I didn't. And, oh, boy. All right. Anyway, that's a great story that you got. All right. We'll be back in just a moment to finish this whole dang thing up.
Sports Hub headlines.
Patriots schedule will be officially announced tonight. Yesterday we found out it.
because it's a thing.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
No idea what you're talking about.
Here's more of The Thing on the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and...
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. Hardy, what's going down?
Big movie news. Grown Ups 3 is officially in the works at Netflix with Adam Sandler. According to Variety, it's rumored that at least the core 5 actors of the franchise, Adam Sandler, 5. Chris Rock, David Spade, Kevin James, and Rob Schneider will return. The streamer did not confirm any casting news. Thought it'd be a good time to revisit some of the reviews of Grown Ups 2. And just looking back on that, I remember one review that said, I can't believe this is an actual Hollywood production. I still don't understand why they made the first one, much less a sequel. This appears to be a movie that Sandler made just to cast his friends. If he was a real friend, he would have cast them in a better movie. I watched Grown Ups. I watched parts of Grown Ups 2. As one reviewer put it, it's like a YouTube video. It's just a long YouTube video. You know it's a funny movie when the characters stand around and someone delivers a quote unquote funny line and all the other characters laugh. That is a way to show you that what was said was just funny. Because otherwise you wouldn't know.
Yeah, right. But everyone seems to be doing okay but Rob Schneider. When he comes up on YouTube, he's almost exclusively complaining about politics.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And not in a comedic way. He's just like a guest on news shows talking
Schilling
about
brain.
politics.
Yeah, he's approaching his Hollywood the way that Schilling approached sports. It's just shut up. Shut up.
But I don't even think
I bet Kevin James still tours. David Spade is doing fine. I don't think they need this.
Well, I love David Spade. Is Chris Rock in it again?
Yeah.
Okay, I love Chris Rock. I don't like Kevin James, but he's had a big career.
Right.
Like, so I get why they're doing it. You're getting paid to hang out with your friends. I get why Sandler's doing it. He doesn't care. Let's do it. But the thing is that they're all, the only one that I see that's not doing anything comedically is Rob Schneider.
Right.
Like, he seems to have pivoted almost completely to politics. Like, Jim Brewer is, like, very conservative now, but he still tours as a stand-up. Like, he still has a core group of stand-ups that he hangs out with and stuff.
Still tells jokes.
And lives in that world. Like, I'm not talking about Rob Schneider's very, like MAGA-y. Like, that's not even the point I'm making. The point I'm making is I don't see him performing comedy anymore. This guy just knocked down a monitor.
The best.
He just walked in the room.
And it's already. Not even the show hasn't started. And you broke something. That's impressive.
You remember the Mad? You remember the Mad Russian?
Remember the Mad Russian from Nick Cannon's wedding? I bet he'll never have another wedding like that.
Was it Cash Bar?
Oh, I think it was limited cash bar with one bartender. That's why I was yelling at him, like, "Hey, buddy, I was here at an appearance last week. The bald guy, Russian. I was calling him Mad Russian in."
He wasn't Russian.
I don't know what his name is. You stop yelling. I actually took a to-go plate to leave because that's how bad this wedding is.
That's what he was saying. He was saying after the sandwich, you guys were gone.
You know it was bad when he walked down the aisle to York, Final Countdown.
Yeah.
And he's doing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I elbow him, and I'm like, oh my god.
He mentioned that off air.
I got so worse.
I didn't say whose wedding it was.
No, you didn't. No, but off air, he mentioned the dice thing.
It was bad, dude.
I wasn't there.
I'm planning a wedding right now. I'm not going to do that.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
I just know Rucker had a cash bar at his wedding at one point, and it was like a destination. Chris Rucker.
Why would he ever do that, dude?
And it was like one of those things like, do I get a hotel room because it's like an hour away?
Oh.
And so we
in
did.
between.
So it was like, all right, let's just get wasted at this wedding. It's open bar, pay for itself.
We thought to do it to that destination.
Yeah, good luck, dude.
I'm serious because it would eliminate half the wedding.
Well, we had a destination wedding in Grand Bahama, and we thought that it would eliminate people, and only one person didn't go. So we had like 199 people. Wow. But then we had such an absurd amount of Hilton points. Some hotel chain where everyone stayed Weston. We had this absurd amount of Weston points because we got a cut of everyone that booked the room under our name.
Okay,
So
all
like,
right.
I think my ex-wife is still using them because they'll stay at like, I think the Ritz is a Weston property, and she'll take my daughter. They'll stay at the Ritz in like Manhattan. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Wow.
She's like, points. You're still milking these points, lady.
Nice.
All right. All right. Scott, enjoy yourself for the next 4 hours.
Schedule breaks. Get ready for them.
Oh, yeah. All right. That's good. We'll find out what's going on. Everyone's all hyped up for Jets at Titans week 1. We're all excited about that. All right. We'll be back tomorrow. That'll do it for us. Bye.
Talk to you tomorrow. Toucher and Artie on the Sports Hub.
Wendy's OG Spicy Chicken Sandwich just got a total upgrade. Yep.